Make fun of how
And
bad it is.
yeah, suck my dick. And we're live. So
I need to go on your YouTube channel so I can read
what?
comments.
Oh, look over on the right. Do I have us in? Yeah. There should be a thing on the right side of your screen where you can open it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So does that show YouTube comments?
Okay, look over by where the direct messages are.
Right. I see live comments. That one?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So I can just copy the YouTube link, yeah?
Yes.
I like how I'm like, I'm gonna make fun of your tea.
Not the one that I sent you.
No, the one from your regular YouTube.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'll put it.
Put on that tweet, and there's 2 viewers. Hi guys. You're gonna have to wait for a second because I'm
We gotta figure shit out.
gotta figure shit out. And I'm trying to like post on Facebook and stuff that we're going live, but I needed to be live to have a link to include to say we're going live.
It's a complicated process.
Yeah. Especially when you've got EIE who
Ranting in your ear the whole time.
blah 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 blah. You know what? Fuck
Whatever. You like it. Hi, Austin. Yeah, so the live comments doesn't work. So I'm just gonna have to use YouTube.
It doesn't?
Which is behind a few minutes.
Okay, you can
Unless
do that.
you can like pop it up somehow.
I don't know what's going wrong with you because it does work.
Oh, there it goes. It just comes up late. It comes up like way
Oh
later.
yeah,
Than it does on YouTube.
There's a little delay, and sometimes they fall in a weird order through the stream thing.
Okay. Okay. Did you tweet it?
I tweeted it. Yeah, did you see it? I tagged
Hold
you.
on. I'm only so efficient and timely. Okay, you didn't fucking tweet it. The link?
Oh no, I didn't tweet the link.
Okay, I'm gonna tweet the link.
Good.
Okay, okay, I got this. I can do this.
There's a lot of Enneagram groups on Facebook.
Are you putting it in all the Enneagram groups?
No. Hi chill. I just hit the flow state group, and I started to go over like, oh, I'll hit an Enneagram group, but
am I a mod on Flow State YouTube channel?
No. Why would I have all the power?
Oh.
I have all the power.
Just wait till you want special privileges again.
I did. I've been trying to get powers out of you for the Discord server for fucking ever.
Well, you'll get powers once you sit and chill. Damon has powers now.
What?
Yeah, Damon's an attendant. He's been one for like a month.
I don't want to be an attendant because that title alone sounds degrading. Like I should be serving people fucking drinks in their tiny cups.
What do you call it? On their server, I think we're gladiators. Yeah, we're gladiators.
Who were?
Me and you are on the old Flow State server, which is now the Beholder server.
Oh yeah. That server. That server's Trey's server now.
Yeah, well, it was yours, right?
It was the Flow State server, yeah.
Are we gonna talk about 1s and 8s again, or are we just gonna talk about whatever?
I was intending to go over it again, but if it's not interesting to you, we can go over something else because I don't give a fuck.
Remember, you're the boss. You want all the power, but then all of a sudden, now you don't want to be the boss when you got to make decisions.
So today we're going to talk about the difference between 1s and 8s.
Okay. Yay! Jamie, thank you.
Is that Chill's name?
Jamie, yeah. She's great. You'll love her.
Oh yeah, I do. I know.
Oh, you know her?
Yeah, she is great. I just didn't know her real name.
Yeah, so we just did a video on
So we
ones and
just
eights.
the way that we did this, since she and I can kind of start playing off each other and going, is we wanted to make this video and we wanted to get the content in. We wanted to get in because I didn't know if both of us are easily distracted by each other and by other things, and I didn't know if the two of us in a live stream with the rest of you could even get through fuck all. So we just finished this video, but we're gonna start and do it again and see how that goes.
Yeah, so we just went over like the key differences between 1 and 8, and we talked about the different ways that we manage anger. It feels like redundant to go over it again, doesn't it?
It does. We can talk about whatever, but let's talk about how Chill complimented my shirt right off the bat.
Yes.
My dad, today was my family's Christmas, and my dad got all the men in my family, so my uncles, cousins, everybody, like these kind of cheesy little button-up, different ones. They're all different, but it's I don't know. He's never done anything like he does. He doesn't do that shit, but it was kind of funny. So
I just want to point out, you see, Taylor, let's stop the content to talk about all the compliments I'm getting.
yeah, she's killer with the compliments.
I think she's a 2. I've been kind of helping her go through her type. I haven't sat and done a diagnostic with her, but I watched a video she did the other day and I was like, "Oh man, you seem like a 2." And I was going over it today with her on Twitter, and I do think that she is an Enneagram 2. So she would be very good with the flattery.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's nailing her on the head, but we'll see. She's learning about it and going through it right now. So
So what's the different Ennea topic? What's one that you get a lot of questions on? Because you're plugged into Twitter a lot more, and what's a common Twitter?
I think most people like when I do like the comparison. So the 1 verse 8 was good, and we can talk about that more if you want to. I get 6 verse 8 a lot. I mean, people ask me like a lot of random questions.
You want to
Like,
do 6 verse 8? The problem with that is people who are asking are looking for validation. I mean, we should hit that because everybody wants to know, but there are a lot of people who will hear the answer and still decide to be an 8 because the way that the way that things are phrased and presented,
yeah. I mean, I think 8's a type that people mistype as a lot, right? Or people want to be 8s because they describe 8s as like powerful and influential. We can talk about 6 verse 8. I know we talked about that in the video we just did as well, but
It's okay.
because the counterphobic 6 can look outwardly like an 8. And yeah, we can answer Jamie's question after this. Also, um, we discussed like in our video a little bit that counterphobic 6s, like they kind of really walk around trying to show that they're tough, and this isn't like a negative thing. There's nothing wrong with showing that you're tough or offsetting your fear, but they really can kind of go towards danger or towards a problem. But the thing is, like, this is a very fear-based thing for them. And when you guys see the video that we did, you'll hear Taylor go into more detail. But Taylor kind of discussed, or we discussed together, how 8s are really kind of unaware that there's any fear or weakness. So, if you're somebody deciding between 6 and 8, that's one thing to look at, because I think people assume, oh, this person's tough or they're harsh or they're brash, they're an 8. And, frankly, anybody can really be like that. But counterphobic 6s tend to be the ones that are really walking around trying to prove how tough they are. 8s don't really feel that they need to prove that because, again, they're pretty unaware that they have weaknesses because their defense mechanism is denial.
And yeah, people are way too quick to associate aggression with 8 because ones can be, straight out the gate aggressive. Really most types can. And I've seen a
Especially
lot,
if you're sexual dominant, like,
which we both are.
which we both are, yeah. Um, Especially that can come across a little bit more aggressive, like the fighting for the mate instinct. It's
But
an
if you,
instinct, right?
yeah, yeah. But if you think about what, uh, how the types are, since Ace are in denial and we legitimately don't, what we're trying to avoid is being vulnerable.
Right.
And that's a distinction to us, you know. So we're not concerned what other people think.
Right, and
We're not trying to
again, I
show.
always try to iterate that denial, just like anybody, any Enneagram type's defense mechanism, a defense mechanism by nature is unconscious. It is not something you are consciously trying to do or employ. So an 8 is not constantly walking around denying that they're weak, but a 6 maybe. Eights are like, again, this is all unconscious denial, because and it ends up consciously being that they really perceive that other people are weaker than them, or they don't perceive vulnerabilities as much. And of course, like through growth or through Enneagram or through whatever way that you get there, you can end up recognizing that. But I know, even though, like, even when you work on yourself as a person, Taylor, it's still difficult for you to understand your weaknesses.
I have to, and I don't feel them. Um, I'm going to be making and releasing on Patreon as a premium content video real soon. A great example of this, because I just realized how dangerous a neighborhood I live in. And I've lived here for over a year. I knew it consciously, but since I've never felt threatened here, I did. It just didn't sink in. You know how you can know something but not know something? It was that sort of thing,
Yeah.
and I think it's a perfect example. So I'm going to be going through some things in my neighborhood. I've got videos from after a drive-by shooting happened, like right here. My house got broken into 2 nights ago, so I got some things for that. I've got I joined in some neighborhood apps, the Ring app. So there's a lot of. It'll be an interesting video, kind of touring my neighborhood and all the actual fucking crime is happening constantly. But
I
yeah,
worry about him more than he worries.
yeah. Everyone
I
does.
do.
Oh yeah, I forgot to. And I got shot. My car got shot while I was driving. That was at me. People were shooting at me, but
Wonderful.
I deserved it.
No, okay. Okay, Jamie asked, how do 1s and 8s get along? Um, and I'll speak for, I guess I'll answer first, then Taylor can answer. I get along with 8s extremely well. It's one of the types I get along with best. My dad's an 8. I was raised by an 8. I prefer the 8 style of interaction. I think that the things that 8s like most about me is I'm not a little baby, and I'm extremely straightforward. And 8s like direct, straightforward people, so they tend to appreciate that about me. Now, definitely Taylor and I can get at each other's throats, and,
Normally, I get in your throat, but you never gag, so it's fine.
oh, yeah, Okay, we're not gonna,
We're both
but
FX bombs.
we go at each other a little bit, and we're both very straightforward. We will go for each other, definitely, and we both enjoy that. Other people get really uncomfortable with that. I think I was telling you, Taylor, about something my therapist said about that also. But
You didn't,
we
did you?
I don't know if you know other ones, but I get along with 8s swimmingly. That's just how I was raised. That's the style of interaction I prefer. I don't like the passive aggressive or things left unsaid or the beating around the bush type of interactions. I'd rather you come
Fighting
yell in my
bullshit.
face.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about 1s, but I never have a problem getting along with 8s.
I get along with 1s, and you do have a lot more of that grit than most 1s do. But I get along well with them because you can feel where their boundaries are. 1s have that resting bitch voice, and if you start pushing their boundaries because they don't prove themselves being angry, you can feel the tension build in them for a minute before they let themselves get angry, and so
You're pissing me off,
yeah,
Taylor. Shut
I
the
never
fuck up.
I never cross a one's line unless I'm doing it on purpose.
Oh, yeah, and you're always doing it on purpose, and you're always crossing it, let's be honest.
But not
Um,
in permanent ways, always in ways that I can recover from
yeah.
later.
You know the line. Jake asks, "Do you agree with the framework of integration and growth? For ones to grow, they will start behaving like 4." I assume you mean 7. And for 8s to grow, they start behaving like 2s. So I wouldn't say that we start behaving or becoming the other type, but I would say if we look to our growth line, that's kind of showing us what we need more of. So, 8s might need to be more openly generous and helpful to other people. That might really be something they need. A 7 is spontaneous. A 1 really needs to be spontaneous, to have more fun, because we're really a type that's always sitting there kind of noticing what's wrong with everything, looking to correct things. We can be quite rigid. We reject impulses. We're not necessarily the types that are, and not that we're not fun people at all, but we're not really about having fun. So the growth line is really what we need more of to offset the issues that we're having or the fixations that we're having in our type. Um, what's interesting though is we can use the stress line, or what some people call disintegration. We can use positive qualities in the stress line as well. So ideally, when you're in a better place, you're having healthier qualities of both of those lines. It's a big misnomer that you just go one line or the other line, or you're just going up and down. Enneagram is really dynamic, and we flow through it at different times and in different ways. And so, if Taylor's an 8 and he's stressed out and behaving like a 5, that's not necessarily a negative thing. There's positive things he can take from 5 to, get back up to 8 or be healthier as an 8. And there's negative sides to 2 as well. You can adopt negative qualities from your growth line as well. So, and thank you, Amanda. I love you. I miss you. um, so yeah, definitely look to the type to know what you need more of. But don't think that if you're acting like that type or whatever, that's necessarily just a good thing, because you can use unhealthy or unpalatable things from that line, and you can also take good things from your stress line. Oh,
Mhm.
is it Ande? Is that how you say her name? She's so sweet.
She's got a girl crush on you. She's
I have a girl crush
a
on her.
bigger girl crush on you than boy crush on me, so I'm okay with being second fiddle crush for the trifecta. That's good. Um,
Nate says he loves when I indulge in 7. Yes, I get very self-indulgent sometimes, and that would be the not good part of 7. I'm not supposed to be too indulgent, but Nate, Andy? Okay, sorry. Nate likes to encourage me, and it's a bad idea if I get like an indulgent mode and I hang around 7s. Nate convinces me to buy things, get drunk. Like, he just has me, he always has me getting crazier than I should.
and I like it. I like Nate's been indulging his NE lately.
With his memes.
Yeah, keep that meme shit up. Um, okay. Uh, Chill had a comment up there.
I see that. I wonder if
Yeah.
1 boundaries helps FI polar a ton. Like, they set the line for you. Not sure if this applies or not, but I thought maybe. Um, well, boundary setting, like, that could be SE, right? That could be TI. Could you elaborate on what you mean by boundary setting, just so I make sure that we're answering
I mean,
exactly what you're asking?
I think I get it. I mean, I'm not gonna accidentally cross your line. Like 9s, 4s, 2s, especially, like, a lot of types will hide their stress at what I'm doing until we're past the point of no return. It's visible for me on you all. Like, yeah,
I wouldn't
I
that
think
be, like, more SE, though? Like,
that probably would
perceiving how
be.
much you can push?
Yeah. I
Rather
mean,
than, because it's not like an ethical line, because you'll
no.
cross ethical lines with me all day, but I don't
Fuck
mind.
your ethics. Yeah. Uh, yeah. But it probably is an SE thing. But I don't know, that brand of SE is easy for me to pick up for whatever reason.
Uh-huh.
One tension I can pick up every time, and sometimes, like two kindness, um, it's hard for me to differentiate. You know what I mean?
She said, "I thought, like, emotional or connection boundary, like, he won't hurt you because you set the line." Okay, no, Taylor will hurt me. The thing is, he doesn't hurt me because the thing is I'm not sensitive enough for him to hurt me, and that's why we get along. Taylor doesn't the other day, I think Taylor and I have been friends or talking and hanging out for it's been months now, and the other day, Jamie, I'm like, "Tell me I'm your friend."
It
Because
was awkward.
yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm showing us. He said I was his friend, but he said it all begrudgingly. And because I always tease like people who are FI polar, they sometimes, if you ask them, how do you know if you're friends with someone? It's funny to watch them squirm because they'll go, I don't know, we have a good time together, and they'll kind of offset it back to FE, like the mood or how they feel around someone rather than how they're connecting. So I asked Taylor to tell me like 2 days ago that I'm his friend. And he did say it, but he said it with like a pissy, I don't have any sensitivity attitude.
No, it was more than that. It was it was like "fuck you" attitude, and then I said that
The
afterwards because I
highest
had
form of love.
it skull fuck you. I don't know what
You see how uncomfortable he's getting? Well, I'm pushing the
well,
FI on him.
it's
Look
it's
how
not
uncomfortable he is.
it's not just an externally uncomfortable question, it's internally uncomfortable question because we
Because
never
we
ever
don't
think
measure
about
stuff like that.
no, it's like, "Oh, how the fuck do I don't know." That's just I don't it's not a question that ever needs to be asked. You just
We know. Yeah, I mean, well, you don't know, you know that you have fun with me and I have fun with you, and you don't really care if or it's not that you don't care, it's that you just don't think about, "Are we close or not?" So yeah, I made oh, okay, I say made like I had some type of power, I'm just probably SE flexing, but I did ask him to tell me I was his friend, even though I knew, just so I could watch him squirm a little bit.
it would have been a bigger admission of defeat to have avoided the question than to answer it. You put me in a bind.
That's
But
what I
yeah,
do
I
best.
I remember when I was, before I asked my ex-wife to marry me, my dad asked if I loved her, and I've never had such an uncomfortable I mean, I got kinda pissed. I responded angrily. I s "So, well, we got a kid together. We've been together for 3 fucking years. I don't know. You know, like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't gaslight me or something." It just felt like n it
Well,
just
and Katie was telling me, like, it took you guys a long time for you to put the label on it also. I'm not gonna go into details on that because that's your guys' stuff, but she mentioned that to me also, and I was like, "Damn," but I'm sure she's fine because she knew, and she's like and
she
sh
does kn she knows now. She didn't know at the time. There was
oh.
yeah. We, yeah. We had a high we didn't get along great at first.
Nate's making fun of you. He said that it's amusing because he knows the relational distance, and it's funny, Nate, because I know also, I just don't care.
Yeah, she did that shit on purpose. Just like, the last time we recorded a video when I was talking about, being powerless in jail because 'cause you're powerless to get out. He said, "Oh, as an 8, how did that make you feel?"
You're a little bit static, by the way. From your phone, maybe? It's like the
Oh, maybe. I was dropping the link around. I had to close this window, it's cold.
yeah, so for people who are just joining in now, we did do a video earlier, and we went through kind of the main points for 1 and 8. Um Aw, Jamie, you see that, Taylor? Look how uncomfortable he's
Just ask her next time. What did Nate, Lord have
I
mercy
know, I have 3D FI. I just, to me, I don't to me, and this is not, I guess we're kinda talking about anything here. We're not talking
Yeah.
about 1 verse 8 only,
I'll
but
retitle the video afterwards. I
okay.
just needed the link.
for me, I can measure the distance, but I just don't care because I guess in my mind, just because I'm close with somebody right now doesn't mean that I'll be close with them later, right? Or I care more about like, how why did the comments disappear? Okay, sorry. I care more about see, as Taylor said, we get distracted easily. I care more about like how we're making each other feel. Are we having a good time together? Do I feel good around you? Do I make you feel good? That's just things I care about more. And I can be around somebody I dislike as long as they're not putting me in a shitty mood. Um, I'm not going to be fake to them or pretend I love them or anything, but I can exist around people that I'm not necessarily close with, or sometimes I can tell that people don't like me and I'm like, whatever, I'll still be cordial to them. I don't really care. As long as like there's not a bad energy there, then it doesn't really matter to me.
Trees, then watermelon, then Pokeballs.
Is that what's on your shirt? Or is that
Oh, I thought I just was answering in order of my favorite to least favorite.
Oh, okay. Well, my
It
favorite is
might have been.
trees and then Pokeballs and then watermelon.
No, this is trees and snowflakes and presents.
Yeah, see, I can be around people, Alexandra, that I dislike. Now, if I hate them, no, but I can be around someone that I don't like very much. Because to me, this is just how I think of it. I feel like it's part of life that not everybody gets along, and you're not gonna like anyone. Sometimes you're gonna be in situations at work or like friends of friends where you have to be around people. So I'll be baseline cordial, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to be nice. But I'm not gonna be an asshole to them. I can exist, as I said.
And I think that I can do the same thing, but what I can't do very well is tolerate them doing something that I don't like in
Oh, yeah,
myself.
I mean, I
Yeah.
speak up. I mean, but I'm still willing to be around them probably more than they're willing to be around me. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like,
Yeah,
you and I would probably definitely sit in a voice chat with somebody we dislike, and
for
we
sure.
don't care that they're there, and we'll debate with them this and that, and, like, they may not wanna be there, and, like, we don't care.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I mean, at the end of the day, the people that I don't like really don't have a strong emotional impact on me at all. I can for
Right,
sure talk with somebody I don't like.
right.
Um,
And to me, like, relations are, I guess, just more malleable than that, like but okay, yeah, Jamie asked, "Did you get Taylor into Enneagram Cat, or did you find it on your own, Taylor?" I think Taylor
I found it on
well,
my own. She helped me, refine my self-typing. So when I met her, I thought I was an 837
SOSS.
SOSX. She
Yeah,
helped me refine that and explain it, and it was really quick. I mean, the way that she assessed me and corrected me and articulated it, without having known me that long was freaking impressive.
thanks.
And so, yeah, she's someone whose expertise and capacity or ability, because I can learn a system. I can learn a system, but I'll never be able to apply Enneagram. I think the way an EIE would, just because of
Yeah, and I'm really good at, I form, like, archetypes or feelings for people in my head really quickly, so I struggle more with learning, like, a logical structure or learning a system, but if I can get myself to the point where I know it, the applying it to people is, like, the easy part to me. Like, I can guess people's, like, sociotypes even in weird ways, before I logically identify all of the information element placements. I was talking about this the other day, like, Jack was doing one of his live streams where he was typing somebody, and in, like, 2 minutes, I was talking to Jack on Facebook, like, kind of just live messaging, like, what I was noticing, and then the first 2 minutes, I was like, "Oh my god, like, this guy's FE, like, I just wanna help him. He's gonna end up being LII." And then, 2 hours later when the video's done, he's LII. But I could just tell because, like, I felt called to help the suggestive FE, and that's not a valid typing method. You can't I mean, even though it's right, you still have to be able to figure it out in a logical structure, and I do struggle with logically structuring the type, more
Have
than I
you heard
struggle with picking up on it.
have you, I've heard that, uh, SLE I've heard a lot of times that SLEs are the best type at reading people. Um, I've heard that betas are the best at reading people. I don't know if I've heard that your type is the best at people or if I just believe it and have said it myself.
No, it's written in, like, every description
Is
that
it?
we're
Okay.
mentors, we were what is, I'm gonna actually this is, like, one
Yeah,
of my favorite quotes, and I'm gonna read it to you because it's one of
okay.
my favorite
Well,
description.
I think that the fine difference between the way that our types read people is, um, I think that in my experience, SLEs read people's present situation faster. I can see somebody sitting at a bus stop down the block and know what sort of state they're in. Um,
I can do that too,
but
but
I
it's
don't,
emotional state.
um, I don't know how to articulate this well, but I feel like we can superficially assess people easier and but your type can understand the person. I think EIAs can get somebody at a way deeper level than
Mhm.
I can.
I'm gonna read this real quick from, Stratoevskaya's
Yeah,
EIE description. This is one of my favorite quotes. She says, "To study the human soul, to see the source of a person's pain and sufferings, to show the depth of his experiences and emotions, to understand the emotional motives behind a person's behavior with all their apparent contradictions. And the EIE sees his predestination. He was born for this, and with this he will be engaged his entire life, regardless of his actual worldly occupation."
that's it. It's sort what causes they want EIAs want to know why. The depth. It's the depth.
Right.
And SLEs are we know what's incentivizing people. What's
Nate can speak on this. Nate will always be like, "I think this," and I'm like, "No, you don't. You actually feel X, Y, and Z, and because of that, that's causing you to pretend that you think this and blah blah blah." And like that's one of the reasons that Nate and I became really good friends because we kind of read each other to filth, right? And he would appreciate when I did stuff like that, where a lot of people are off put when I do things like that, but Nate always liked when I did things like that. And that's like one of the ways that we became closer friends, because I never look at like the surface level of what somebody is doing. In fact, I've talked to you, I think about I have trouble noticing that at all, but I can always see like all the underlying or unconscious reasons that they're doing it, or like what are like the underlying feelings that's causing them to act like this. And I think EIEs in general are good at reflecting like the human soul or the human condition back to a person. That might sound a little woo woo, but
no, but it's true. It
yeah,
and it's consistently true. I mean, it's true for Megan Lavota as well. I mean, just EIEs get people at a
excuse me.
level at a depth that not only would I not be able to go to, I don't think I would see the purpose in going to, you know? I don't operate on that deep of a level with myself.
Alexandra asks, is that something you can naturally tell or do you have to dig it out? No, it's something I can naturally tell. And that's what Taylor was saying. I can talk to a person, um, F FE base, we're extremely adept at perceiving um emotional states in other people, or just emotional states in general and the atmosphere. So I can Cat's vibe typing is weirdly on point. Yeah.
Oh,
um,
crazy, yeah.
yeah, it's something that I do extremely naturally. Vera, the person who just talked, I met her and I guessed her type and I heard her talk for 2 minutes. Just she said like two things and I guessed her type. Um, I think a lot of it's like unconscious or like a type of pattern recognition, but yeah, I don't have to dig out how people feel. That's the world I live in. It's point blank obvious for me. Now, if I want to learn someone's reasoning, like their logical reasoning behind something, that's something that doesn't come naturally for me. I'm not going to understand how somebody thinks necessarily, but I can tell Taylor or Nate or anyone how they feel before they even realize it.
And that's that combination is well, your ability to read, right? Because there are, I think, more people, like there are a lot of people who can read others' emotions, but then not explain it. And I've studied enough Enneagram that I know it technically, but I can't apply it like that. And so to
Right.
hear somebody who's able to apply it like that and also articulate it back just like that is it was an impressive combination. I think the only other person who's who I know who's I think is on the level uh as you is Jonathan. He's a Jonathan Campbell. He's on Ben Vaslin's channel a
I've
lot.
spoken to him. He's really
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a 1 too.
Yeah, he's a 152.
Is he?
Yeah. He's
Oh.
social self-pres though. I talked to him for a little bit a while back. I should say hi to him again. He seems very nice. I don't really know him. I've only had the one conversation with him. Um, Alexandra, it's not like a psychic guess in text. Like I'd have to hear your voice or like talk to you for a few minutes. I can't just guess based off of text like that. But yeah, I don't agree with vibe typing no matter how accurate it is or isn't. Like you still have to sit down, do the diagnostic, make sure they fit the criteria. Vibes can definitely be wrong. Definitely, definitely. But it's I
You need to bring your vibe back into the system if, you know.
Absolutely, because, vibes can be wrong, and it is I had to for a long time, like, I could kind of, like, accurately type people, but it took me years, and, like, I'm still, like, unconfident with this a lot, you know that. It took me years to be able to explain it properly, and I do struggle to explain myself,
Not as much as you think you do. Uh,
well, maybe you just overestimate me.
no, it's not just you, it's, all EIEs.
Yeah, well, the
Over-explain things.
Yeah, well, the 1 DTI, it is difficult to explain something that you're feeling or that you know, right? Us feelers, we don't believe in vibe typing, can't help typing by vibes. Yeah, well, I mean, again, like, it's a lot of pattern recognition, and if I it's hard to explain. You can't
I
really
mean,
put it into words because it's not tangible, right?
I believe in vibe typing too, but
I believe in it,
but
but
it
I
has
don't think
no
it's valid.
validity.
Yeah.
Right, you need to be able to articulate and then articulate in the framework your vibe. Otherwise, it's useless. Then, you know, if you can't put it into that structure, who gives a fuck what you feel like, you know?
Exactly. If you can't explain it to other people, then nobody's going to understand it. So, that's something that people with 1 DTI need to work on. It's something that I have have had to work on a lot, and it's something that does not come naturally to me. A lot of people think, "Oh, your TI is so good because you know all these systems." I'm like, "This is not my TI. I didn't generate these systems. I learned somebody else's logical structure, somebody else's system, and I can speak about it now, and I have my own understanding of it now, but I didn't generate all of this logic." For me to be able to explain something from a logical standpoint, it takes me a lot of time, and I think people maybe don't realize that. It's not easy for me. It's stressful, you know. Let's see what a type 4 SLE would look like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I know one. I don't think I do.
I
That
bet it
would
would be
be
like that drunk guy from high school or college that was, like, be raging angry, but
well,
also
Phil's a
crying.
4 fix. Phil's a
L
4 fix.
last, right?
Um, 8 no, I think he's probably 846.
So, in the second slot, to me, it feels like his aggression is much more likely to take the form of, "Listen to me gripe about my life."
Um Maybe. I guess I don't perceive it that way, but, I remember, like, you introduced Katie to him once, and you're like, this is me, but, like, a little more emo." So,
I
we know an SLE with a 4 fix. Um, isn't vibe typing just pattern recognition based on experience and crystallized knowledge? Yeah,
I think
sure.
so, yeah.
But what we're saying, we're not saying that. Okay, my vibes are more trustworthy than my logic. Let me be very clear on that. My logic is not ever going to be more trustworthy, but I still have to be able to explain somebody's type within some type of logical structure because other people can't see or understand my vibes. So some people may eventually come to trust them. Like if I told Taylor this person vibes is this, he would probably trust me. But he still doesn't necessarily understand it himself. And if I'm typing somebody else, I need to make sure that they understand it themselves. That's the most important thing.
Okay, Jared Vaughn says, according to Wikipedia, Enneagram 4 SLEs don't exist. Okay, how could, and I don't think that Wikipedia is anything to cite, but nevertheless, I don't see how an SLE, I'm sorry, how could the two exist since SLE,
Well,
go ahead.
I
You know
haven't.
what I'm asking.
Yes, I do. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead there. I haven't met one yet. I will say this: if you look at if you take instincts into account and you look at a sexual four who is an angry, envious person who's acting on the angry four who's kind of like lashing out or acting on anger that way, I could conceptualize a sexual four wing three SLE. That being said, I have not met one, and that's a discussion I'm eventually planning to have with Jack. We're going to try to figure out if there's certain combinations that aren't possible at all.
I mean, the technical answer is they're separate systems, and so they can't be impossible because they just don't overlap in that way. However, I believe that the two don't they won't I mean, just there are
It might be
certain
like a
type
point zero
combinations.
zero zero 1%. There's definitely correlations with sociotypes and enneatypes, and
Mm.
but the thing is, a lot of people just look at the type at a really surface level, and they don't take instincts into account and the different manifestations of. Let's look at type 2. I'm just going to use this as an example. An SP2 is very kind of like shy, cute, wants to be protected, and SX2 is aggressive, seductive. Those are two very different energies. The point is, like, anybody could use the defense mechanism of repressing their own needs. And it would be a falsehood to say that an SLE can't do that. Right. So if we look at the surface level behaviors, it's very difficult to conceptualize a lot of types. But I think if we kind of pull it apart to the underlying mechanisms, then we're more able to see how these types can come together. That being said, I have not met that specific type. So I can't say, yes, 100% this exists or doesn't exist. But I have met a few weird combinations. And thank you, Countess, for saying I'm humble. I'm actually not that humble, but I'm really honest about my weaknesses. um,
Uh,
sorry, go ahead.
oh, you mentioned that people only read descriptions at surface level, and so you mentioned Stratievska, whatever her name is earlier. She is the best type description.
For betas.
Is it just for betas?
The thing is, she's a gamma, so her alpha descriptions, a lot of alphas don't love them. They're not the best for them because she really doesn't understand that quadra as well. It's going to be like that for every person who writes descriptions, right? But we like the SE valuing people, the gammas and the betas, we seem to love her, and then the deltas and the
Okay.
alphas not so much.
Well, I typed her name and put it in the chat and was gonna hold her up as a refer people to her who want less shitty descriptions. It's
For
dense,
stereotypes.
but apparently I don't know. I got the same. I remember thinking her ILE description was fan fucking tastic, but of course I'm an SE user, so I probably perceive that the same way. So if you're an SE user, you'll probably love her.
Alexander, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't make anything on it. I just use it to participate in different communities. I'm only really on Taylor's YouTube channel ever. I might do some stuff myself sometime, but he's hoarding me right now.
I put her Twitter down there, and I'll link. She runs the Transcendence Discord server, so I'll link that in this when it's published.
Is vibe similar to intuition, unexplained by words but later confirmed by results to a rather high probability? I would say that for me, vibe is intuition. And I have a nutty intuition. Taylor can tell you that.
I think
So
I think that, it's different for everybody. I mean, I think that my vibe is probably more SI related.
or SE, just
It's
perceiving that energy and that quality that,
yeah, I
like,
mean, yeah.
so it's correction, 3% of SLEs are Enneagram 4, according to Wikipedia stats. I want to challenge that statistic, not
Yeah.
because I have a problem with the numbers coming out, but who statistics from who? Were
How did
these
we
people
get this?
self-reporting? How do we know those people were correctly typed? That's something I'm curious to know. I will also say that I currently have a spreadsheet going with a couple hundred people where I am doing an assessment on correlations between sociotypes and enneatypes. And these are none of it is self-reported. These are all people who have confirmed types through either myself or Enneagram through socionists. So we're working on that. We don't have enough data on it yet, and then I'll be able to publish real results for that for real people like in the community, and I think that'll be really interesting. Um, what would you say a nine-ish four is like? Can you elaborate on what you mean by that? I would say that fours are pretty nine-ish in a lot of ways and also not in a lot of ways. I have a huge thread on Enneagram 9 verse 4 on my Twitter. If you want to look at that, it's really in depth. It unpacks it a lot. It unpacks the differences between the two. But if we look at trifixes, fours can have a nine fix, nines can have a four fix. So I would need like a more specific question for that.
Katie is a 4-ish 9, isn't she? Do you agree?
Katie, you're Katie?
Mhm.
Um, I wouldn't say she's fourish, but I don't know her that well, you know. She does. I would agree. She seems like a. Still haven't typed Katie. I got to type her. We got to do that one of these days.
'Kay.
Personality Cafe major survey. Well, Personality Cafe is a bunch of mistyped people mouthing off at their keyboard on a forum. So we have no clue if those people are actually SLEs or if they're actually fours. And I don't mean that like in a mean way. That was, I guess, kind of an asshole-ish way to say that. But there's
But
no evidence to say that those people are correctly typed. So I personally wouldn't take those statistics validly. That's just me.
it's self-identifying, right? I assume that we got those numbers from people who are saying that they're these things.
Yeah, 5, 8. What you seem to know a lot about Enneagram. What would you say the 5, 8, 4 is like? Well, the 5, 8, 4, I believe is called the scholar in tri-type, and yeah, they tend to be pretty laid back, pretty introverted, but they have like a kind of stubborn grit to them, knowledgeable. The ones I know are really aesthetically driven, and they have like a certain type of aesthetic, like a dark aesthetic that they like, the ones I know. Um, my boyfriend is a 9, 5, 4. Hi, Chris. I brought you here from Twitter. Um, Alexander says, I'm pretty sure my boyfriend is a 1, and I say, I'm sorry. Um,
Mhm.
an LSI 1 SPSX. That doesn't sound bad to me, but ones are not easy to deal with. So I commend you for putting up with it, for putting up with us.
Neither are 8s. That's
I
why
don't
we're
hate Personality
9.
Cafe, but it is a forum, and a forum in any typology forum, you're going to have some people that are correctly typed, and you're going to have some people who are not correctly typed because they took tests. And I mean, it's to be expected that that's just not going to all be correct. Which there's nothing wrong with it. I don't hate the site. I just don't. I don't personally use it, and I don't feel comfortable myself trusting self-reported statistics because I meet so many people who are not their correct type, right?
All the time.
Excuse me.
And don't people commonly misidentify with 4? Isn't that one of the more common ones that people
Yes, because people think 4 is about wanting to be unique, or be special, and who doesn't want to be unique and special? Everybody wants to be unique and special.
It's
Yeah,
why
that's
INFJs are everybody thinks they're a fucking INFJ.
right. I was wondering because I don't see myself in the sexual 4 description, and it's not about me personally, but I was just curious how that would modify core type plus subtype combo. Well, depending on your instincts, regardless of what type you are, you're going to be pointing those defense mechanisms and kind of pointing that energy towards the dominant instinct or towards your instinctual drive. So, there's not a massive difference. I mean, we're still using the same defense mechanism as a type, but when we have different instincts, we're really pointing that in a different direction. So that can make the type come across a lot differently.
Like me and Damon.
Yeah, like you and Damon, who Damon is on this channel a lot, and he is a social self-preservation 8. And Damon is a lot more subdued. Taylor is the SX8 is like the classic rebellious 8, and Taylor's a lot more biting, whereas the social 8 is more my dad's a social 8 also. I kind of look at them as like the protector. They can look 2ish almost because they really take people under their wing and they care for people. And that's how they, by taking care of people and by kind of being Papa Bear or Mama Bear, that allows them to have power in a sense, and then they're not put in a weaker position. Whereas the sexual 8 is less inclined to do that, and they're a lot more provocative. A lot more showy. So just looking at two types like that looks quite different. Jamie says, I always tested as a 4. Chris says, I think I'm an ENTJ. The 584 description you said resonates with me, especially the aesthetic part. Yeah. And that's just my subjective view on the ones that I know. One of my best friends, she's a 458, and yeah, she's very aesthetically inclined. She's very shy. She's I'm talking about Katrina here, Taylor. She got a little bite on the back of her, but generally very shy.
She does. If you bring it out, it's sort of like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Are some instinctual variant any type combos more inclined to the integration line? In my personal opinion, not necessarily. They can look like they are, but are they actually doing that? No. Like I said, social 8 can look 2ish, but that doesn't. They're still doing it from like the 8 defense place. That doesn't mean that they're literally dissolving the ego just because they're doing a behavior that may look like that. I would say I lash out, but only when something is intense enough to warrant that. But even then, I am not more 8 than 8. SX and 4 do describe me, but I don't connect with SX4 despite being that type. Well, if you're not connecting with the type,
Then it's
you
not
may
right.
have the instincts backwards. You may
Something's
have the
off.
type wrong. Yeah, I mean, that's...
I think for most people, well, for everybody, when you find at some point, you read something like, it's like, oh, holy shit. This is me, undoubtedly. And reading Naranjo's type 8 description is what did it for me. It was like a year ago. I read Naranjo's type 8 description. I was like, oh my God, this is why my life is the way it is.
I had a hard time finding my type. I thought I was a 2 for a long time, and I hated Enneagram. I was like, this is like half of it's right and half of it's wrong. Like, I don't like this fucking system. Because I was mistyped, and I really thought I was a 2. I thought because I'm helpful. I'm, I have quite seductive personality. I don't know. Like, so I was like, oh yeah, 2, the helper. And that's what I thought I was. And certain types definitely have a more like, oh shit moment when they read their types than others. I did eventually figure out I was a 1, but I was never like upset, like, or shocked or surprised by it. I was like, well, I told Jamie today, I was like, well, that explains why I'm so like unbearable. It's like stuff I knew about myself, but it just took me a while to get to that type.
I thought I was a 7 for a long time.
Yeah. And I think we both had our instincts backwards, which is a common thing.
Is Chris Ferguson narrating my...
Oh.
It's
and Alexandra, you said the difference between 458 and 584. It's going to depend on instincts too. My friend that Taylor and I were just talking about, she's SPSX. So SP is always going to be the more reserved type of any type. So definitely that might make a difference. If you're a social 5, say, you're going to be much more outgoing, most likely. Taylor's fucking SE Lord. Yes, Austin mistyped as the 2 for a while. We had to fix Austin's type. I had to fix Nate's type. Nate had his type pretty correct, but he had his instincts wrong. He found his instincts. I corrected Nate's wing eventually. And yeah, Jared, I have yet to meet an EIE one, but I do have a friend who says he knows other ones. So I'm sure it does exist, but I haven't met them yet. Yeah, so Jamie, the way that the self-preservation 2 works, that's the counter type for 2. So it's like the manifestation's a little different. I'm a counter type also. The SP2 does like a little bit of a thing where they kind of get people to protect them, and they're more cute and less overtly flattering and effusive. So they'll kind of get people to come to them in a way by like pulling back and like a cute, helpful energy. Let's see. Wouldn't EIEs imply towards one because rational lead? Um, Not necessarily, because one is a lot about rejecting feelings and making decisions off of, um, more objective or logical measures. So, personally, from what I know, the most EIEs are in the heart triad, so they're 2s, 3s, or 4s. I
All of
have
them.
met a couple other types, but
I don't
all
think I have. I think
um,
everyone I've met is in the heart triad.
I know a 7, an EIE 7, and then myself, I'm an EIE 1.
Is
Um,
Donald Trump my type?
I don't really know his type. He's definitely an SE lead 8, and I would say that he's the same tri-type as you, or same
I think so.
trifixes as you. Most Enneagram 1s are introverted SJs. In MBTI, maybe sure. In Socionics, no. But yes, Donald Trump is an 8. SX leads are messy, not gonna lie. You're not wrong. We're messy as shit. We're weirdos. We
Mm.
I can vibe with being cute. FOMO, what's this? Oh yeah, fear of missing out.
I was thinking of a fupa.
What's
Yeah.
FUPA?
Fat upper pussy area when a fat chick has that bulge.
Okay, I don't know about all that. Maybe you'll have to make a whole video on that.
On fupas?
Yeah. I'll let you guys know. Here's some weird SX stuff Taylor and I have done. Taylor and I spent an hour one night typing boobs with Enneagram types.
I don't remember their types. I have a terrible memory.
I'll tell
Um,
you them in private.
can we go? Let's hit them now. What did we come up with?
Okay, we said like ones had perfect boobs, right?
Of perfection, right.
I don't remember twos. Do you remember twos? I remember threes had boob jobs.
Yes, that makes sense as well.
um,
But fours probably have small boobs and complain about it a lot.
I don't remember. See, I don't remember all of them now, but I remember us doing
Fours had
this.
pierced tits.
Oh yeah, fours had pierced boobs. And I do know 2 fours with pierced boobs.
I don't remember any of the others.
Jamie asked, "How do you figure out a tri-type?" So, where so it's basically like we have, I guess, the ego fixation from each center, and we separate them into the triads of gut, heart, and head. So you're going to have one from 8, 9, and 1, one from 2, 3, and 4, and then one from 5, 6, and 7. A lot of people don't like tri-type or tri-fixes. The core, I think, is still the most important thing, whether you like that or not. But basically, kind of look at how you manage the the predominant emotion in each center. So, with heart, it's going to be like shame and guilt. With head, it's going to be fear and anxiety, and then with gut, it's going to be anger.
But the order that they come out in is
Thank you.
normally fairly obvious.
Um,
Well,
well, not always.
okay. I mean, there's
Okay.
like because I'm an 8-wing 7, so the 7 or the head and
No, Jamie. Sorry. Go ahead, Taylor.
the gut type for me were, but I mean, clearly most people's last fix is last.
I think that people will not always, but a lot of the time they'll have a more difficult time figuring out their last trifix. So no, Jamie, your wing does not have to be a part of your tri-type or your trifixes. And yes, the instincts are always consistent in throughout the type. You don't get one instinct for every single thing. Your instincts are independent and they're flavoring everything. They're prevalent. Those are your instincts. They're prevalent throughout your entire type. You don't get a different instinct for each center. No, you don't.
And I've heard a
That's
lot of people say that you do.
no, it's some
That
that's
that
again some
and
forum shit.
yeah,
That makes no sense.
it's some personality cafe shit.
It makes no sense. Your
It
instincts are your
makes sense.
instincts.
There's a certain logic to it, but it's not. Okay, it doesn't really make sense when you get it all the
Yeah,
way down to it,
it
though.
doesn't. Jamie, don't say sorry. Ask whatever you want. That's what we're here for. What does a wing provide that a tri-type doesn't? So the wing is, it gives you like a flavor to the type. It's kind of how you go about using the type. I think that's the easiest way to understand it. So, depending on what wing you have, the manifestation of your type is going to come out in a different way, and you're going to have a little bit of quality from that type also. SP7 is more sensual than SX7. I would say no. No. SX7 is very romantic, dreamy, can look quite fourish. I would not say that. Um, I would not
SP
say that's
is the
accurate.
least sexual type instinct, probably.
Well, I mean,
Would you
social is
agree?
not sexual either. They're all
But
different things.
it doesn't, it feeds into it. It doesn't inhibit it.
Um, Right. Well, okay, so the way that we think about it is SP actually does inhibit SX, and it's used to serve SX. That's what would make SXSP sin flow, because if you're sin flow, the instinct coming after serves the one before. So SP for me, since I'm sin flow, I'm SXSP. SP helps me put the brakes on my SX. You don't have that. You don't have brakes on your SX. You don't have boundary on it the way that I do. You don't have a reservation or a protection on it. It's just it's going out, SP actually does help SX. Um, and it helps. You were right about what you said, but I'm correcting just that it doesn't help or not, because it does pull it back, it does reserve it, but that's a good thing.
Right. I guess because I know of that dynamic, with how our instincts are set up, I know I just assumed that SP was least inclined towards, but it might not be universal.
Well, I guess because, I can see what you're saying, because social is a lot about pair bonding, and even one-on-one relations is social. That is a bond. You can have sex with somebody that you are not bonded to and that you do not like, and you can marry someone and not be sexually attracted to them. So that's one way to look at that. So SX means you're sexually dominant, right? Yes, Taylor and I are both sexual dominant. Um, and yeah, so any type of human connection, so friends, pair bonding, liking to hang out one on one, and that is a social connection. That is always social. That is not sexual. That's a big misconception. Charles says I'm SPSOSX6. Cool. Um, no, SX does not mean one-on-one relationships. That's a huge misnomer. Um,
Yeah, it's from
and
the
the
fucking
reason,
churches trying to adopt Enneagram into their morality structure.
yes, SX is about no, social's not necessarily group connected. Social is about, again, like it's a social contract to marry someone. Um, networking, yes, social is about groups also, but sexual is really about attraction and repulsion. Like think of the animal instinct, or like a mating dance, or like when a peacock shows its feathers. That is to attract and mate. Sexual is all about like putting your scent out, attracting people. It's a mating instinct. It's not about liking someone one on one. That is a social construct.
These are really primitive sort of base drives. I mean, think of reproduction, social groups,
Mhm.
resources.
And
It's
yeah, you're correct. Social connection can also be SX and SP. Yes, but the type of connection is different. and what you're connected to will be different and pointed in a different way. But yeah, I want to be very clear that one-to-one bonding is social, it's not sexual.
Sexual has to have that dynamic
Right, sexual is very much
or
like
that attitude, yeah.
again, Jared, that's a misnomer. Most people like deep connections. I recommend looking at Russ Hudson on instincts. He's a great source for instincts, and he explains this on an instinctual level. Sexual isn't necessarily about having sex, but it's about the sexual drive and the urge within yourself. It's about what you're attracted to. It's about magnetizing to things, or rejecting things. That's what sexual is all about. Um, yeah. Taylor, stop being weird. I have hot chocolate. I hope this doesn't burn me. It's actually not hot enough. Exactly. Everybody prefers deep connections for the most part. I will say that SOSP, that specific stacking, they kind of tend to prefer to go around kind of group to group and not make connections like that. So SOSP is probably the stacking that's least inclined towards that. And they definitely have the energy of kind of going around place to place, network to network, and they don't have the desire to kind of merge with somebody or connect on that level. They have more of a desire to do networking because you have this SP coming in, and they're wanting to gain resources to further their social position. I need to put Taylor in his place more often. I can try, but he doesn't listen to me.
I discovered my stacking. Kat is who helps really me solidify my stacking. It's hard to get down because it's too basic. People overthink it, and I mean that was my issue. I was like, there's got to be more going on here, but it's
SPSO, Charles, they tend to be focused on the more stable traditional connections, from what I've seen. They really wanna, like, meet someone, and, they're using that social to serve the self-preservation, and they wanna meet somebody to build a home, collect resources. In my opinion, they tend to have the most stable relations, whereas, yeah, and so same with SOSP. I think SX blinds tend to have more stable flat connections, which is not a bad thing. Whereas if you have SX dominance like Taylor and I'm very like up and down, like intense energy, erratic with my connections. Yeah, very much so. I don't know if there's a test for instincts or not. But I always recommend for anything, to not do tests and to definitely study the theory, um, learn what it's all about, and apply it that way, just because, tests are never gonna be great for type
I
things like
mean,
this, unfortunately.
the thing about and or socionics or any of those things, if it's insightful enough um, to be useful, it's not simple enough to figure out in a 5-minute internet
That
test.
being said, I am developing a test right now with Damon, so,
And it would
um,
probably be fantastic.
hopefully, but I still give the disclaimer, I'm like, "A test is a test," so it's an
It,
introduction, it's getting
it's
started.
yeah, it's a great way to get introduced, but you can't just stop there. And it's not the authority.
Mhm. Taylor, do you wanna answer Niha asked, "Do you connect with the idea that your dominant instinct could be the most damaged one?"
Um, I had not thought about which one is about damage. I guess I'd never thought about the source of what causes the instinct.
Well, I
What's
would
the
say
is
we're
there
gonna
an
have
answer?
the highest neurosis in our dominant instinct, because it's so very important to us. A lot of people type their instincts backwards because they'll put their second instinct as their first one accidentally, because we spend more time, I guess, consciously thinking about or using the second instinct. because the first one is so important to us. It can be painful, like, to look at and think about, right? So we actually don't think about our dominant instinct as much until it gets threatened. That's the point where we put a lot of focus into it. But we're definitely, because we care so much about this, we are going to have the highest neurosis in that instinct. Whereas the second one, we are usually most balanced in. And then the third one is repressed. We can have problems there as well, but we're not really thinking about it.
But if you meant damage insofar as, like, past trauma, I don't know that I think that they're connected.
I would say I think they are. And
Do
I would
you?
say that you, because you have 1D NI, you maybe don't see the how, like,
Fair
it
enough.
developing over time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but,
okay.
so if you're self-preservation dominant, your whole life, like, you're gonna feel most threatened and have the most trauma around your security and safety being taken away. Um, if you're social dominant, let's say you were rejected or bullied in school and, like, you couldn't find a place to fit in, you're gonna have more trauma over that. Whereas if, say, I guess, like, I'm social blind, I probably wouldn't even notice if I was, like, not fitting in. Like, that's not even something I would notice. Of course, I wouldn't have trauma over it. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't even recognize that. Let's see. Vera asked a question. I want to know how you know SXSO from SXSP on a basic level. SXSO is more bitey. SXSP tends to like flow into a group more. I have more breaks on my SX. I'm more reserved. I have a lot stronger boundaries. Taylor has no fucking boundaries. SP blind people really do lack boundaries.
You all don't have boundaries. I have a few boundaries.
I don't have
Yeah.
boundaries?
No, for me, like,
Oh.
I feel like my
Yes,
boundarylessness
you
is
see, he'll just
more outwardly
invade people's
projected.
boundaries.
Right, right.
And then he's not gonna notice so much if people are invading his. Whereas I'm quite sensitive to that. Also could be like a 5-fix thing. I'm very sensitive to people taking my energy. I identify with what you said about SP, stable and reliable. Yes, and Jamie, when the test is done, I'll definitely give it to you. Not gonna lie, to be honest, same on SXSO versus SXSP and that subtle nuance between contra and synflow. Can you be SX and then be a submissive in the bedroom? I'm SX and I am submissive in the bedroom. I'm sharing that on live stream. I'm very submissive. Um, you know, is it linked? No, it's not linked. You can have any sexual preference. SX dominance can also be not very sexual and flashy. You can have rejection to your instincts, but the thing is, it's like it's what's being focused on. So you can have somebody who's like really prude and like super anti-sex, and that would still indicate a focus on SX. It would not indicate a blind spot because they have such strong opinion and focus on it.
I'm looking at you, Catholic Church.
Let's see. I was wondering how you relate to the idea of neurosis with SX since your dominant one. I think that's for you, Taylor. Do you relate to
Where
like a neurosis with SX?
I
I can talk about
I
mine if
I think that it would be yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said. I think that would be terrible if SX problems happened.
well, for me, what
One thing
happens is
is
I like, let's say
I'm
I
thinking about, like,
fall
if I
in
got
love.
whiskey dick, that's
No, I mean, we're
or
not
like
okay, let's not bring it to, like, literal sex, but
okay,
I'll bring it to this, like,
if my dick didn't
let's
work though, I'd feel really bad about
I mean,
it.
Nate has watched me go through Taylor, actually, you've watched me go through this, and let's not share any details, please, because you know how private I am, but if I fall in love with someone or something, not in the sense of pair bonding, in the sense that I'm just in love with this energy and I'm really giving all of myself, like, SX is really about merging a lot, so it's, like, dissolving into one, right? And it's that energy that's SX. It's not the one-on-one bonding, it's the energy of, like, the loss of self into an idea or into a person. And when I lose like something that's like SX to me that I am really like connected and in love with, whether it be like a person or an idea, like if I like, because it just feels like I'm in love with things when I feel like that. If I lose that, I freak out. I mean, Taylor, you watched me, like, we're not
Yeah.
gonna talk about the situation, but when I lost something like that, like, I hadn't drank for 3 years. I was drunk for, like, a week straight, remember? Like, I just freaked out.
God. Yeah, it was terrible. Um, I mean, it's sorta like if you've ever, like, finished a really good book you've been into for a long time, that sorta, "Oh, shit, now what?" I mean, that's
Yeah,
I kinda yeah, 'cause it's just been you've been immersed in it.
yeah, and, that immersion, that is a great word for SX because SX is, again, it's not the one-to-one connection, it's the losing yourself and the immersion in the other person, when it's involving or an
Or
idea,
yeah, and whatever, yeah, I mean,
and whatever. It could be drugs, it could
and
be
with
I mean,
Kate's vice is lust, which is not sex specific lust, but it includes all overindulgences. So it's like a double down on
yeah. I
hit
mean,
me right here.
I would imagine that's, I mean, I am a very it's not something that shows a lot. Nate will make fun of me probably in live chat, but I am, like, a very sexual and lusty person. You know that. I don't, like, really overtly throw that out there as much, probably because 'cause I'm a 1 and, it's not the most palatable thing in the world, but, I mean, you know how like, I really do get, like, obsessive and in love with things. It can even be, like, interests, my friends, like, a specific kind of art. Now I'm all into tarot. You see, like, it's, like, obsessive. It's, like, part of me. So it's
Yeah,
like I lose myself. I give a little bit of piece of myself to every single thing and person that I love, and when I lose something, like, not by my own choice, that's so difficult for me. It feels like I'm losing myself.
yeah, it's intolerant or it's unacceptable, basically.
Yeah, and so then that's where you're gonna get most neurotic, but you're probably not I don't really that's just your natural mode of being. It's like breathing air. So you're not going around thinking about SX, thinking about immersion all the time. You and I don't really think about that. Again, like breathing air or moving your hand. You don't think about I'm gonna move my hand, you're just doing it. And that's how the dominant instinct should come across. It's natural, right? It's almost unconscious. And then you're going to pay a lot of attention to that second one. But when the dominant instinct gets threatened, that's when you're getting really upset.
Yeah,
It's not as upsetting if the second instinct gets threatened because you don't care as much and you have a more balanced use there.
and now I can answer the question better after kind of brewing on a little bit and say, yes, I absolutely identify with that neurosis.
Yes. I never cared about security and was a huge risk taker until I was raped. I'm so sorry to hear that and got PTSD. After that, I was security conscious. Is this an example of trauma changing your instincts? Um, like security is it depends on security what towards because again we all want security we all want connection it's just pointed in different things trauma shouldn't change your instincts but it might make you pay more attention to them and certain instincts will feel more trauma in different areas. I'm so sorry that you got raped. That's terrible and thank you for being brave enough to share that though.
That would probably be a harder one because it's got so much less. You're not your behavior is generally not a contributing factor. So, like when I got raided by the sheriffs, I I is still something that's happening bad to me against my will, but I obviously helped facilitate getting there, and I think that rape in particular, it's just it's depending, again, depending on the
Yeah, I mean,
circumstance.
that's a
It could
horrible
for sure
traumatizing
be
situation.
for sure be.
Yeah, like, that's a
Say what I'm
terrible
saying.
situation. And anyone's gonna be security focused in that moment. We have all 3 instincts. The reason we write 2 is it's just because it's a given that the other one's last, but we all have all 3 instincts. They just manifest differently depending on the stack. Um Chris says, I have big trust issues. I think I told Kat over Twitter months ago, recently blocked by a person who told me he cares about me. And I'm sorry to hear that as well. Thank you guys for sharing all this stuff with us, though. Yeah, it's not a fun time when people close to you or people who you care about or who care about you are inconsistent with you. Chris asked, the police visited you, Taylor. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's not anything I'm private about. It's just such a long fucking story. Yeah, I've in 2017 I got raided 3 times. The first time I was asleep. I woke up getting carried out the front door in handcuffs, and the whole family was home. My girlfriend, daughter, all that shit. And the second time I was still in jail from the first raid. They went back with another search warrant for a different crime, because when they were raiding me the first time, they got suspicious about things they found that weren't on the warrant, so they went back with the second one. And then the third one was while I was out on bond. They fucking raided me again, and
I didn't know you got rid of that many times.
yeah. The third time, I got out on bond from the first time when I got arrested, because my bond was $100,000 the first time, and eventually the judge dropped it to 50, and then I made it, and I was out for about a month, and I'm thinking, they're not gonna raid me again.
There's no way.
And sure as shit, I'd just gone outside to smoke a cigarette, and I'm standing on the back porch smoking a cigarette, and whoever I was texting somebody who had agitated me, and I was texting out the fucking, the scolding, and I just hit send, and I hear a branch snap on the side of the house, and I go, fuck the cops. And I go, then you rationalize yourself. No, it's probably just my
Look at
landlord.
that SE. I heard a branch snap.
I did, but
it was the cops.
Sure as shit, it was them again, and both of them, both sides of the house, they came streaming around, whole lines around each side with fucking AR-15s, and the guy on the right was telling me to lay down, and the guy on the left was telling me to put my hands on my head. It was that sort of shit show. But
were you scared? Be honest.
That time,
don't be an 8. Be honest.
Okay,
were you scared?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but also no. It wasn't like an emotional fear. It was like it was like, really, these guys are going to shoot me right now because they're telling me different things. And so
yeah.
I was like talking to both of them and going, I'm okay. Hey, he's telling me to lay down. I was trying to manage that situation.
Yeah. Oh my God. I watched this video. I don't know if you've seen it, of it was in Vegas, and the guy was instructing the dude, and the dude was scared out of his mind, and he just fucking shoots him because the dude couldn't listen because he was so anxious.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I wish I never saw that video. I'm still traumatized by it. It's terrible.
I don't panic people panic.
I'd probably panic.
I mean, it's
maybe not.
A lot of people do. And so I mean, yes, I was scared, but not. That doesn't happen to me.
I never do anything wrong, so hopefully I'll never be in that situation. But you never know, because sometimes you just end up. A lot of people don't do anything wrong and end up in situations like that.
I mean, it was a very rational. I mean, the scary thing about cops is they can shoot you and get away with it. Probably half of them want to have a reason to shoot you just because they think they're big badasses. And there's an extra, but whatever. Oh, and this was a small town in rural Kansas where there's not that much crime, and so when they have an opportunity to, because I didn't just get raided by the sheriffs, I got they had surrounding counties coming. There's 4 counties, Department of Parks and Tourism, the game wardens came with them. 4 counties, the game wardens, a K9 unit was, I mean, just all sorts of motherfuckers, all geared up with AR-15s. They don't get to do this sort of shit that much. They're probably hoping for some action. So I didn't want these bored deadbeat motherfuckers in Pratt to
shoot you,
to shoot me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't get shot.
Me too.
See, I'm so nice.
You are.
I'm glad my friend didn't get shot. I'm looking at the comments again. Let's see. Do you guys have any more questions? About anything. I guess there's not really like a topic. The topic's been Enneagram, but if you
What should
guys
I
have
title this video?
what was that?
What should I title this video? Enneagram.
I don't know.
It's sexual.
Sexual healing. I'm just kidding.
The
I'm glad we
sexy
haven't done too much of our SX stuff on.
Well,
Austin
yeah.
said, "I remember my body shaking after an officer pulled my friend over." Yeah, like a lot of people get panicky like that. Title it beta hour. Is this very beta? I didn't even think, I mean, I'm sure it is because we're both betas. But have we been very beta-esque?
Where are you? Are you behind me or in front of me?
I'm in front. I'm reading what Jamie just said. Mike says, "I was arrested like 50 miles away
Oh,
from
yeah,
Midtown.
yeah.
It was creepy because they could get away with anything." Yeah. I mean, there's obviously some good cops, but there's a lot of, you know, shady stuff that happens and
Especially in small or rural departments, places
right.
where the cops have no crime to work on is where they're generally the worst. Uh, One thing about where I live now in straight fucking ghetto is I don't feel concerned about cops. The cops here have real shit to deal with. They're not gonna get a bun up their ass about me, and that's good. But yeah, I could tell you stories. It gets worse once you get arrested. If you're in jail or prison for any amount of time,
Now
they
they're like, "Oh, you're on the record, motherfucker."
well, I mean, they can do whatever they want to you in there. The first day, the second day that I got put into the first day I got put into general population, um, they arrested another guy and booked him in after me, and they tased him 5 times. Actually, the video is posted on Talking with Famous People.
Mhm.
They
Wait,
tased
I think I remember this.
yeah, they tased him 5 times, and he was older. He started having seizures, and they just threw him on the floor in the cell and then ignored us. Uh, he's laying there, he's seizing, his head's bouncing off the concrete floor like a basketball and shit. And this that ain't really nothing, but that was just an introduction. It's like, oh, it's like this here.
Yeah, and it's just not
Yeah.
necessary. What instinct is most common for introverts? Charles Benson asked. Um, well, the most common instinct stacking altogether is SPSO. So I would venture to say SPSO, but I don't have like an actual statistic on that. Niha says, I'm still chewing over the potential inaccuracy of dividing the entire world into 27 archetypes. Well, I mean, it's only dividing it by um, your your worldview, your fears, and your desires. There's way more to a person than just that. And then Niha says, I would say I've met two other SX4s as well who don't connect to the chestnut neuron description. So that's why I was curious about it. Well, if they don't fit the description, maybe they're not SX4s. I mean, that's one way to say it. If it doesn't fit the framework, then maybe the typing's wrong. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case, but I would say like if it doesn't fit, then um, potentially it might be good to look elsewhere.
That link I just dropped is the surveillance footage from that it shows the guy getting tased who got dragged into my cell and seized around for a while, and he got charged with assaulting an officer for that too, even though he didn't do shit. And it's the audio on that video also malfunctioned, so you can't hear it. That's fucked up.
I mean, it's sad too because there are like good moral cops and stuff, but like right now, like cops are like the biggest oppressors in our country, right? You have
Yeah.
to help me out with the social instinct stuff because I don't, I'm not the best with the kind of social dynamics and things, but I do
I mean,
see news
I
and
I almost hesitate to get started down this rabbit hole because there's I could go on it forever. But just yesterday, I have a buddy who he visited me. He'd just gotten out of jail, um, and yesterday he was telling me this about uh, one of the nights the cops had all the inmates go into their cells and they shut they're called bean holes. They're your window to the hallway, but it's got a metal shutter. But his wasn't shut all the way, so you could see out through the crack. This dude who the cops were pissed at, who'd been in jail for, I mean, they'd left him in the hole for forever. And by the hole, I mean that's a windowless windowless room about the size of, like, it's
Yeah, it's
tiny.
tiny.
Nothing in there. You don't
There a
get a
toilet?
mattress, nothing. There's a toilet. There's no mattress. You lay on the floor in the dark alone. He'd been in there forever. But anyways, they put everyone in their cells, and then this guy had just gotten out of the shower, and about 10 cops went in, beat the fuck out of him, broke his arm, took him back to his cell, cuffed his arms and legs to a chair,
Oh
and
my God.
sat him in the chair like naked and wet under there's like a cold air vent, and just blasted on him for hours.
That is
And that
oh
was
my God. Why are
yeah.
you laughing? It's an 8 defense mechanism.
I guess
Just kidding.
because these sort of things happen all the fucking time, but nobody knows, and nobody will believe him, right? So he can file a complaint, he can tell the judge, but what is everybody gonna say? Well, he's
It's
just a
criminal's word
defendant. He's
against
just a
theirs.
criminal trying
Yeah.
to get mad at cops. No, motherfucker, the cops are criminals,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it happens all the time, everywhere. I mean, I've seen it. It's just everywhere. It's in your police department, your jails right now, I promise.
Well, like I said, I'm a perfect angel and I never get in trouble. So, I don't have to deal with that stuff, thankfully. But really, like, I don't do anything illegal. So, hopefully, I never have to deal with a situation like that. But there's people all the time who don't do anything and are just found in situations like that. Especially people of different races. And yeah, I mean, now we're on like a totally different topic. And don't get us started on like oppression because we'll start yelling. What are the
We are the
worst
betas. We're revolutionary. We will overthrow these motherfuckers and get us started.
one type at a time?
Oh wait, no, yeah, you've got to inspire the people, and I just go fuck.
Jamie asked, "What are the worst Enneagram stereotypes you've seen per type?" Oh gosh, that's hard. You want to throw me out a couple types, and I can answer that better. Otherwise, I'll go into like a huge monologue.
One,
That we're all just total perfectionists.
two.
So you're just gonna go?
I mean, what can you
That twos are super passive. They're not.
Three.
Oh gosh. Maybe most of the 3 stereotypes are kind of true, but not all 3s are just like, "Look at my fancy car and my watch." That's kind of annoying. Or, oh no, the stereotype I hate with 3s is that 3s are fake because their defense mechanism is model matching, so they're basing their value off of external things. They're not aware that they're doing that. They're not sitting there being fake. I hate that. 3s are
Yeah,
not fake.
that's a lazy, shallow understanding.
Yeah, 3s are
And
not fake.
self-preservation threes aren't flashy. They're
Yeah.
they're show-offy in a way that is not show-offy.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Um what's good Enneagram compatibility for a 5? Me. 5s tend to be statistically married to 1s mostly. So yeah, 1s is a good combination. Um, with 1s, Jamie, that we're all just perfectionists, that's really more in the realm of SP1. We all do have elements of perfectionism, but I don't think most people would describe me as a perfectionist, and I wouldn't identify with that myself. With 8s, that they're all just fucking assholes all the time. I talk in the video I did with Taylor, you'll hear me talk about I actually got emotional. I almost started crying because I was talking about how, like, protective 8s really are. Like, they're really your biggest protectors. They're caretakers. They really are. With 4s, happy, positive reframing 4s. No. Um, and with 9s, I think most of the 9 stuff is pretty accurate. I don't think I have, I'm sure there is something, but I don't have anything that sticks out off the top of my head as being, um, that's just coming to me about 9s. As a
I'm
7, I wanna say we're bigger jackasses than 8. Well, everybody can be a jackass. I would say 8s are bigger jackasses than 7s, but I think that people really don't give 8s enough credit for it's not coming from a place of, "Look at me, I'm a jackass." Like, 8s are really fighting for the people, like, they're shaking people up, and 8s are the most protective people. If you are lucky enough for an 8 to love you or to be in their inner circle, they will protect you. They absolutely will. They will not let people stomp all over you. Taylor has, like, protected me and gone to war for me on even just stupid, like, internet crap plenty of times. Plenty of times. So, Napster.
Napster was the shit, and then LimeWire was the shit.
I remember Napster. I remember downloading songs and you'd get, like, weird audio files and viruses and
Or
shit.
or it took forever because you had dial-up, so you'd set, like, 3 or 4 songs to queue and hope they were ready by the next morning.
And then
Yeah.
remember burning it onto mix CDs and, like, drawing
Mhm.
Sharpie on the mix CD?
I had
And we're old.
when your first buddy got the first label maker, and so you print out those labels and do the yeah, that was awesome, and then LimeWire came out, but it's so full of viruses that you had to wait until, like, you were almost done with the computer anyways, and then you just get as much fucking music as you could before it died of internet AIDS. It was great.
Chris, I'm 31 years old, and Jamie, I watched, the video with your husband. I didn't finish the whole thing, but your husband does seem like an 8 to me. Definitely. Maybe 8 wing 9 though, not 8 wing 7. That's just my first impression. I'm not, giving him a typing, but that's just what he seemed like to me. But yeah, we're old, Taylor. There's not CDs anymore. It's all on the damn. We have a computer that we carry around in our pocket.
I still have such a collection of CDs.
I don't have mine anymore.
Well, I was so happy when iPods came out because you know how hard it is to try to play basketball with a Discman in your pocket and without it skipping, it's hard as fuck.
I remember I have my iPad or not iPad, iPod somewhere still. I didn't really use mine that much. I'm older than you, Chris. That's okay. People say I look younger still. So, hopefully I can ride that train until I can't anymore.
Vinyls are getting more popular, it seems like. I mean, I've got this. I have autographed vinyls like this.
I swear to God, this
Yeah.
cup is so hot, but the actual hot chocolate is not that hot, and it's really disappointing. Yeah, very disappointing.
Hmm.
You're 33 and old fart. Yeah, we're all old here. Does anybody else have any questions at all for us?
If you weren't here earlier when we mentioned it, we did record a video. We recorded privately a video before we got on this live stream about the difference between Enneagram 1s and 8s. So I'll be editing and uploading that. I'm not actually sure when. I'll keep you posted because
When you get around to it.
well, yeah, when I get around to it, I might wanna spread my releases more strategically. Also, I'm making a video, and this is gonna go on Patreon. This is gonna be a premium content thing, but since the Enneagram Type 8's denial is vulnerability, I've got a great example of that from my personal life. Since I've lived here in an absolute dangerous part of town for over a year, and it took me a long ass time to even notice it. So we kind of going over that, and I've got some videos from my house got robbed 2 days ago, and there's a drive-by shooting in the street in front of the house, not at my house, 2 houses up, but they returned fire. So there's a shootout in the street. I got some video from not that, but from after it, digging bullets out of cars with the neighbors and stuff. And my car's been shot. I mean, I've got some stuff, so we'll be kind of going through some of that. And
I'm
then,
excited for that video.
and then
Just 'cause I
how
wanna see how
the
crazy it
fuck
is.
I mean, how the fuck can you be like I was driving my car and got shot, and I'm still, kind of I know it's a bad part of town, but you don't know. So anyways, that's what that'll be. That's coming. So Like,
Stuff
subscribe, comment, oh, are you
Oh, sorry. I was gonna answer the
oh,
other
yeah,
question.
yeah,
You wanna end
keep
it
going.
here,
Huh?
or do you
Nope.
wanna keep
I
going?
mean, we can keep going.
Okay, Stefan asked, "Have you noticed any similarities and differences between Socionics SE and SX and SI and SP?" They're describing 2 totally different things. Just from okay, I'm not the best with logic, but from a logical standpoint, I'm an EIE, I'm SXSP. SE and SI are 2 of my worst information elements. SE is force, volitional sensing. SI is, um, sensations, comfort, flow. Um, SP is more about like boundary structures, protecting yourself, resources. SX is, we talked about that earlier. You might have to look back in the video. It's about immersion, attraction, and repulsion. That has nothing to do with SE. If anything, SX would be more kind of like FE or FI. But again, Taylor's SX dominant, and that's 2 of his worst information elements. So they just don't correlate that way. They're not trying to describe the same thing. Beatrix asks, should I go on Transcendence Discord voice chat if I want to be typed? Like, do people plan sessions at certain times? If you want a verified type, there's several Socionists in the server, and then I do Enneagram. You do have to pay for those if you want a verified type, but some people will type like for fun for free if you just ask someone. Like they might do that just cuz. Chris says, "Oh, that you were nice to someone and they blocked you. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you guys work it out."
Fuck those people.
I'm 33 and I'm the best. Well, that's impossible because I mean, I'm the best and then Taylor's second best. So we might have to fight for that, Mike.
You all are confused about
Yes,
that.
SX is immersion, not force. Um, you're at the limit of how long you can sit in a spot, Taylor. You muted and moved off.
I gotta move,
You're like, fuck
move
this
around.
shit.
Not really. I need like a recess.
Okay.
But just real quick.
Do you wanna take a smoke break real quick so I can go smoke maybe? You
Okay,
wanna
we're
What?
gonna take like a 5. If
Okay,
you
yeah.
people are still here in 5, then we'll be back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, carry on.
Otherwise, we'll end it
Otherwise,
when we come
thanks.
back. We'll say bye when we come back if no one's here, and if people are still here, we can keep going. I have energy right now, so but yes, I will be right back. I'm gonna go pee and I'm gonna smoke, so BRB. Okay, well, I'm back. I don't think Taylor is yet, but let me catch up on the comments. Let me sit back down. Get in my lazy position. You were set up to look bad, Chris? You were blocked by somebody after being nice to them? Thank you. I ghosted an ESFP that was draining. Well, if you guys have questions for just me at all, I can answer things while Taylor's gone, while we wait for him to get back. My sister's an ESFP, they're fun to be around, but I can't talk to them about serious stuff. Oh. I well, I don't use MBTI, I use Socionics, but the Socionic version, SEE, I like talking with them. Sure, Charles, what's your question? It takes a second for the questions to come to me, by the way, so, if I answer a little bit late, that's why. Okay, is that Olivia? If that is you, hi. Do you think nines would have confusion surrounding their instincts as well, feeling a pull towards relating to all? I'm actually not sure on that. I haven't seen that really play out or happen as much like it does like with the actual types. But I can imagine that's probably very possible. But I personally haven't seen that with nines that I know. Chris says, I'm glad I know you, Kat. Thank you. It wouldn't be this chat without me. Yeah. Well, thank you. Without Taylor also. What do
Mhm.
you do for work? Are you M1 Force? Are you asking me or Taylor? Do I think animals can have Enneatypes? No, because they don't have like animals would be like SP, I think, just like fighting for the natural animal survival instinct. But I do jokingly type my cats, so not Enneatypes, but they have sociotypes. Charles says, I'm an introvert, but my mental energy fluctuates a lot. I went out today and felt slightly tired, but I'm home now and feel fine. Why am I not dead? Um, that's a little bit difficult for me to answer because, I don't really relate introversion and extroversion like that. I'm a social introvert, definitely, but I'm an extrovert. So, that's a good thing. If you went out and you came home and you're not dead, then, good on you for having good energy. Liv says, "It's me from Twitter." Okay, yay, hi. What is my
Mhm.
stance on online
Yeah,
personality
hi.
tests? Can they ever be accurate above 75% accuracy? Um, no matter how perfect a test is, there's always gonna be user error when you take tests. So if you don't understand exactly what they're asking, you might not answer it like in the framework of what they're trying to measure. So if you don't understand the question or if they worded the question badly, there's a lot of reasons I don't think tests can ever be accurate. There's also if you're being honest on the test, um, maybe you're trying to be honest, but you're not, like you don't really know yourself. I mean, there's a multitude of reasons that testing can go wrong. M14 says either or, just curious. What I do for a living is I do Enneagram consulting. And Taylor, do you want to answer what you do for a living?
I'm in quality control in precast concrete.
Are those Thin Mints? Oh, like a Christmas cookie tin?
Mm.
I thought it was a Girl Scout Thin Mint, and I was really jealous.
It's better.
That
Damn it.
looks good,
I'm
but it
gonna
looks like
dump
it
them.
has gluten in it, so I can't eat it.
Oh, you
I
got
don't
glutenitis?
Yeah, I have gluten intolerance. I don't think there's an argument, blah, blah, blah. Who else is ENFJ apart from the YouTube girl in the channel? My ex, Megan Lavoda. Talking with a friend about the end of the SX immersion depression. We're both coming up on reality. Yeah, that shit's rough. I bought my boyfriend's Christmas gift, food to make taquitos, and made a phone call in 30 minutes. Proud of myself. Yes, nice tea. Or
Mhm.
SE, getting up and doing things.
What were all those things?
Alexandra said that they bought their boyfriend's Christmas gift, food to make taquitos tomorrow, and made a phone call in 30 minutes.
What's he getting?
Yeah, what did you get your boyfriend? I'm curious. You gotta tell us. We've been sharing, you gotta share.
Hi, Max.
Hi,
Max
Max.
has the poshest voice.
We'll get him on here to talk eventually. What change do you both want to see in the world? Oh gosh, I could go on a lot about that.
I want to
Um,
see the criminal justice system reformed, mass incarceration minimized, drugs legalized, and prosecutors burned alive. You're up.
for me, I want everybody this is like the main thing for me. I want everybody to be able to speak their mind, to express themselves. I want everybody to find passion in life. I want everybody to, whether they think there's meaning in life or not, make their own meaning, do the best they can in this world, whether they think it's worth it or not. And I really advocate for people being able to express who they truly are. And I also wish that people would be a little less sensitive.
People need to get the fuck out of their sensitivities.
I think those are the main. There's a lot of things I could say about that, though.
EIEs are they seek utopia or something. So,
Kind of.
and I think
I
that
don't think that's possible, but
it's not, and I think it would be boring as fuck. I think if the world was perfect, the first thing we'd do is fuck it up so we have something to do.
yes. As far as, like, what I want to change in the world though, Jamie, I really wanna help people understand themselves and, like, hone into their true selves, their souls, who they really are, and I wanna help people heal themselves and live more fulfilling lives, have better energy, be happier, find more meaning in life, be able to find their passion. I want people to be able to live with love and make decisions from love and not be held back by fear and by other people. So that's why I love systems like Enneagram and things like that because, that gives me like a system or a framework to help people do that, hopefully. I really want people to be able to live whatever they feel is as their true selves and as their best selves and to feel okay about that. Um, that's what I hope to bring to the world. Let's see. All future boyfriends get t-shirts from an organization. I like that. That makes it easy.
Hmm?
I was just reading some of the comments still. Um, Charles is talking about, I only talk to a few people. I'm still very in my head when I'm out. I hope I make sense. Yeah, you do. I'm I am tired, just not dead, but I have no motivation to go out and do anything. Well, what time is it there? It's 2:30 a.m. here, so, you know, we're chilling. I have hot chocolate. Taylor has cookies. The hot chocolate's not very good. My homemade hot chocolate is way better. You don't think about massive changes, Jamie? Well, maybe not in a massive way, but what would you like to bring to the world? I'm curious. And that's something that I wanna help people do, like, think about, like, the passionate, massive changes, and even if they don't wanna change the world or anything, that's fine, but, I hope to help people find their passion or find passion for life in general. Utopia is a selfish ideal, it removes others' free will. What if your utopia has free will and free expression?
And what if people do things like the J.K. Rowling, whatever the fucking chick
J.K.
sweet
Rowling?
Rowling.
Is that how you say it? Max, is
I
it
don't know.
Rowling or Rowling?
Rowling.
Is it Rowling? I don't know how to say it.
Is he gonna respond by typing it?
Well, he can write it, like, phonetically, and I'll get it, he knows.
He didn't know.
He will know, he's, like, obsessed with Harry Potter. Everybody in Europe is
He
obsessed with Harry
is?
Potter.
Don't put him on blast like that.
Everybody in Europe is. I generally just want to help where I can and do what I can with whatever I have. That makes sense. I guess because you don't
Bro, see? He
row, like, yeah, see, Rowling.
Yeah, but he didn't type it out phonetically.
He wrote "Row
He
your
sang
boat."
he sang a song.
J.K. Rowling. But maybe that's just how they say it over there, so now we can't trust him.
Yeah, that's just your accent.
We'll just so there was no right answer, no matter what he did.
Yeah. Basically, she just said that you can't, agree, or that if you're born a man or a woman, then you can't change. And people are, like, losing their fucking shit, Mikey.
Taylor.
He's being a fascist little bitch.
Opinion on Trump. I'm gonna change the subject. Opinion of Trump. I think Trump is a very unhealthy 8. That's my opinion. Do you have an opinion on Trump, Taylor?
Yeah, I do. I think that Trump is a douchebag, and I think that the political system is rotten to the core, and I think that if he gets impeached, we don't have a better replacement for him. I think I think that people who are outraged at Trump are silly. Really. I mean, because is he a piece of shit? Yeah, but they all are. And at least he's not an in club piece of shit. I like him because he's a piece of shit from the outside and he's fucking things up for them. So I like him because, yeah. But I think, I do think that he's a douchebag. But I think that people who are up in arms against him, like saying he's a bully and shit, like they're focusing on the wrong thing. The real crime that he's doing is all the the immigration
That's a crime
detention
too.
centers.
If you're a leader of a nation, you have a responsibility to not
To
be an unethical piece of shit.
saying rude things and throwing Mexicans in indefinite border concentration camps are not at all equivalent.
Absolutely, they're not the same thing, but you
So
still
him
have a
being a bully or making asshole comment, just all the things that people bitch about that don't matter, like get the fuck over it. And don't act like Joe Biden's not a kid touching weirdo or Obama wasn't and didn't have strong anti-American sentiments while he's running America.
Mhm.
The Bushes are the biggest war criminals of my life. I mean, like, it's just like
I liked Clinton, but I'm so social blind, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I didn't even know Trump was getting impeached until, like, somebody told me a couple days ago.
the Clintons are so tied in with Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't
Like,
know anything about that either.
okay, you
I'm
need to,
so social blind, you know that.
yeah, you need to know about it. But yeah, they're all bad people. Like every last one of them is, except for maybe Bernie Sanders. I kind of like Bernie.
Yeah, my friend has campaigned for him, but again, I really do probably need to get better with stuff like that, but you know me, I don't know jack shit about politics or any social
Epstein did
stuff
not
like
kill
that.
himself. That's correct. Um,
I remember your name was Epstein's ghost for a while.
oh yeah, right after he got suicided.
Anybody else have any
Yeah, the
type
Clintons,
questions? Okay.
Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's private jet at least 26 times. And
I don't even know who Epstein is, so I don't know if this is a good
okay,
or bad
Jeffrey
thing.
Epstein, he was a billionaire, real rich dude who was a sex trafficker of minors. And he was really tied to a lot of powerful, influential people. They haven't like gone after many code offenses yet, but like Prince Andrew, the king's little brother, just had to step down from all royal duties because of the fallout of his involvement with him and all that shit that's fallen out of it. And yeah, it's a huge thing. Our media is doing a good job of not attending to it very actively. But the Clintons would go vacation at his Nevada ranch every year. Apparently, like they were all over the same like, Epstein stuff. So, I mean, they're fucking children, basically. The Clintons fuck children, is what I'm trying to say. They're the Clintons are gangsters, but I think the Bush family is just they're the
The king of
they're the
pedophile
worst.
island. I'm, like, very unfortunately social blind. I never know what's going on in the world. It's
If you
bad.
have any interest, I would be happy to fill you in but not now, but like offline. But if you don't, I'm not even gonna fucking bother.
After our next tarot reading.
You just want to do tarot.
It's the craziest conspiracy story of the decade. Do you guys have any more, questions? They could be, I guess, type related or personal. I think we've gone into anything goes territory. I also like how I come on your channel and I, like, delegate and, like
Yeah.
You're the 8, you're supposed to be the controlling one. I'm just kidding.
You're the EIE. You're the no.
So now we're in politic realm, and I'm like, somebody talk about type or something.
Mm.
What channels do you both follow? I don't really watch a lot of channels. I follow Flow State. I love Megan Lavoda. She's a good friend of mine. Her channel is amazing. And I watch Damon's channel. He has a personal channel. He doesn't really do anything on it anymore. Um, I think he actually did one thing recently.
He
But
posts videos periodically. He's not nearly as consistent as he was back in the day when it was MBTV.
Mhm.
And he and Michael Pierce, at least when I started getting into this stuff, were in my eyes, they had Typology channel, YouTube Typology down.
I
So
wasn't around back then, as you know, and I barely use YouTube. I've, I come on Taylor's channel, on this channel.
she
I remember
comes
a long time ago, I would tell you, "I wanna be the first lady of Flow State," and you're like, "Get in line, bitch." And now you have me on here all the time. Um, non-type related, I just listen to, like, music and stuff on here. I'm trying to get better at doing stuff like that. Not YouTube channel, but my friend Nate also has a really fun podcast. It's called I Can't Even With Myself Right Now, and Nate's on Twitter. It's Kiddo Rasa. I think it's KIDDORASA, and his podcast is, like, linked up there in his bio. It's super fun. Um, I'd recommend that one.
I
I
watch
kinda watch my friend's stuff. Sorry,
yeah,
what?
I was gonna answer. I watch Sean Atwood, and I recommend Sean Atwood if you're interested in any of the Epstein stuff. He's really covering the shit out of it. And I wanted to plug him. Mostly I wanted to get that in there.
I believe Jamie has a channel also, because I watched a video with her and her husband. I haven't gone through her channel yet, but, if you guys are watching this, follow Jamie's channel also, Your Chill ISFJ. You'll see her in the chat. And I haven't gotten to go through your channel yet, Jamie. I don't know how much is on there or not, but I know you do some videos at least.
I
Um
watch I'm subscribed to a good number of most of the typology community. The how much I watch them varies. I will say right
Oh,
now,
World Socionic Society.
for sure,
Sorry.
for
Yes.
sure.
I
Well,
don't know why I didn't think of that. That's, like, my favorite channel. I'm on there more than anything.
um, but the one that I do not subscribe to nor watch unless in a antagonizing way
Yes,
is
Joseph?
Yeah, he's so full of shit.
Well, I didn't like his last sexist thing. What do you guys think of the same types dating? I think they'll have a lot of sympathy and understanding for each other, um, but they're probably not gonna do the best in terms of growth. The framework that I personally use is socionic, so that would be an identity inner type relation. Um, as far as MBTI, I don't have an opinion or comment on that. I don't know if you do, Taylor, about the same types dating.
Um, just anecdotally, I think 2Hs could work, but I don't see it being common. And
Oh, I didn't
two
think of that.
SLEs, I don't here's the weird thing about that is SLE chicks are hot, and we can we can both see each other and start, you see someone, then you move in. Um, w but then we're doing the same thing to each other. So it's sorta like
Yeah, identity is like you
it's
have
just
sympathy for them because you understand them so well, but you can't really help each other with problems, right?
a strange dynamic.
Austin
It's
wants to
too
know, what is your astrology big 3? So I know
I
you're
have my
Sagittarius. Do you know
I'm a
your moon?
Sagittarius, I don't know what the big 3 is.
Do you know your moon and rising?
I think I have a bad moon rising. Um, okay, I do, but I forgot it.
You can tell him later on the server. What do
Okay.
you think of ENTPs dating INFJs? I don't use MBTI, so I don't have a opinion on
Just
that.
answer as if it's socionics.
Okay, so would INFJ be considered EII or IEI? Like, am I using INF lowercase j, or am I using like the cognitive functions? I'm gonna skip that question, Taylor. You can answer it if you want from MBTI lens.
Um, I use MBTI terminology, and when use the MBTI phrases, I'm always thinking about and sort of talking about the sociotypes, and I'm not the rigid ter the structure Nazi that she is with her fucking 1 and 5 all up in your shit. I think that the 2 types are compatible, so go for it.
Don't ever pick somebody by their type, even if you're, like, with your
Oh,
conflictor or
yeah.
this or that, you can make it work if you guys want to. It'll just maybe be more difficult, to get over misunderstandings, or you might have more misunderstandings, but there's no such thing as, like, you can't be with any type. If you like someone and they like you and you guys make the decision to make it work, that's what matters.
My,
Um,
yeah, my best relationship was with my girlfriend right now, best, longest, whatever, and she's my supervisor, which is supposed to be a bad relationship. I married my, semi-identical, which is supposed to be a pretty good relationship.
semi-identical.
Uh, and we were, I filed for divorce a year later. So, also, if you're selecting people or avoiding them based on type, your mindset is absolutely focusing on the wrong thing from day one,
Yes.
and you're going to undermine yourself.
Yes, Katie's fucking awesome. Chris asks, "Kat, I have a type question. What do you think of Typology Central?" I have no idea what that is. Nate's podcast is great. M14 says, "Taylor, I've seen a few of your videos talk about PUA's culture and where you think dating culture is headed in the West."
I don't know if it was that. I don't know where dating culture is headed in the West. Yeah, bring it back into context. Is that a question?
I think they just wanted you to talk about something. Maybe he'll do a
Hmm.
video on that. Nate says, "Did I just get a mention?" Yes, you did, Nate. I was
We
plugging
said
your
fuck you and your
podcast.
hat.
Huh?
We said fuck you and your hat.
Excuse me, I'm getting over being sick. "I never thought as an ILI I would wind up with an LSI, yet here we are. Oh, hey, I'm a Sag too. I usually get along really well with my supervisor." Who's my supervisor? SEI? Yeah, I don't know very many of them, but one of my best friends, she was here earlier, Amanda, she's an SEI. Um, My boyfriend's my benefactor. I think it works well. I'm married to my benefactor, Alexandra. It's a very common from what I've seen, marriage relationship. I've seen statistics saying the same, that a male benefactor and a female beneficiary is common. Mine and Taylor's friend, Katie, not his girlfriend, another ESI friend we have, she's married to her benefactor also. Kat, I feel I'm doing better since I stopped focusing on people's type with judgments of people. Yeah, that's good. I mean, type is, it shows how we metabolize information or how we think, but there's so much more to a person than just type. I mean, there's people.
And into a relationship. I mean, there's just not a formula for people that is gonna work on that personal and individualized of a level. It just doesn't
Right,
work, and
right.
you're gonna miss the person.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you're gonna meet people of every type where sometimes you'll like, I might meet another SLE and hate them, but I like Taylor. I think it's just always a bad idea to make a judgment that you're not gonna like a person just because of what type they are. And I agree with Taylor. Like, if you're coming in with that mindset, you're probably missing out on a lot of great people. Um,
Generally, the people who come in with that mindset, in my experience, are
mhm,
um, younger and experienced men who are trying to understand the formula for women, kind of out of anxiety of getting stomped on, and it doesn't work that way.
right. And just because you understand someone's type doesn't mean that you're gonna fully understand them as a person. Um, Maybe, if we used a million systems, I mean, we get a better scope of a person the more we know. Like, we could look at their astrology, we can look at their sociotype, we can look at their MBTI type, their Enneatype, we can look at their disc temperament or whatever that thing is called. And you can get a scope of a person, but still, if you have two people with the same type, they're still going to have different information that they have metabolized. They're going to have a different upbringing, different societal values, different traumas, different joys in life. So you're never just gonna be able to definitely there's gonna be like, "Oh, I get along with this type really well usually," but that doesn't mean that you're gonna like every single person of that type, and that goes both ways, obviously.
And also, you need feedback about yourself. Uh, I I know I had to go through some relationships to realize the ways that I sucked. There are some of them.
Yeah,
Not anymore.
Mike asks us, "What are your favorite aspects of each other and least favorite aspects?" Um, so about me and Taylor, like, you want me to answer for him and him to answer about me? Is that what he's saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, what are
I'm
your
answering the
favorite
questions that you read mostly.
huh? You're missing them?
I'm letting
Oh,
you read them. I'm not really actively reading the chat.
okay, yeah, he said, "What are your favorite aspects of each other and least favorite aspects?"
Her
Okay,
boobs.
my boobs, really? I don't e I mean, they're you've never seen them, but, I mean, they're not, anything to write home about as far as size or anything, so
They've figured it out by now.
oh, shut up. My favorite aspect of Taylor is that he's super honest. I really appreciate people who are really honest. Even if I'm like really sad and I go to Taylor, he's not the most comforting person, but he'll tell me to get my ass up and get over it. And he's very, very honest with me. He never holds back how he feels. That's my favorite part of him. My least favorite part is that we're both really stubborn and sometimes we get in like really pedantic childish debates and we'll just like sit there and keep firing each other up and just keep poking at each other, and it is fun, but it does get tiring after a while. So that's I mean, it's weird because I enjoy doing that with you, but then it also gets to like a point where I get frustrated. That would be my least favorite piece. All right, now try to say something nice about me, Taylor. That's not my boobs.
Um, Absolutely not. If it was uncomfortable saying that you're my friend, this is such an FI polar awkward
Yeah.
question for me that
What's logically good about me? Like from a logically objective standpoint.
I I don't know. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Oh,
But I do like her, and there are lots of good things about her.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
But
What
we're
about
not.
your least favorite thing? Can you do that?
I yeah, I wanna just find it. I just wanna move away from it. The question.
All right.
This is a super uncomfortable FI question.
No FI, no
Who asked
FI.
that?
Mike did. He's a
Hey,
TI
Mike.
dom. Do you guys ever cough so much from smoking you feel like you're about to puke? Because same. No. The best
Not
part
from
about Kat is
cigarette.
her eyebrow. Thank you.
What? Big thank you to your eyebrows and not to your boobs?
I don't want people looking at my boobs, but look at my eyebrows. They're nice. FI polar coming through. We'd love to see it. I asked that question intentionally to make Taylor uncomfortable because that's how much I care.
That's why you got the finger.
I've heard, like, from Lily that, like, you and Damon say nice stuff about me behind my back, and I'm like, "They don't say anything to my face."
When David and I say nice things about people, it's like this.
Like, they're useful probably, right?
No,
Like,
it's
she's
it's like this.
useful.
It's like I'll say, like, "Cat's fucking crazy with the tarot cards," and he'll go, "Right?" And then it's over.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my cat is you see her? She's so cute. She's grumpy, she doesn't wanna be held. Um, and my other cat is sleeping on my shoes on the floor. Have either of you been to therapists? Yes, I have anxiety issues and I go to therapy. Even when I'm perfectly like healthy and fine, I go to therapy. And I think everybody should go to therapy if they want to. It's good to have an outside perspective and like somebody who has kind of tools like that to help you out if you're invested or interested in self improvement.
Um, Not probably how you mean it. I've been to rehab twice, and I've had a complete psych evaluation.
That's not really therapy.
They're therapists or something, aren't they? I mean, it's not. I don't know. Then probably not. I mean, a counselor, like inpatient treatment, isn't that kind of? Yeah, no,
I
I
guess,
don't know.
yeah, okay, I guess that counts.
Yeah,
If people say good things about other people when they aren't around, I have to tell the person in question about the love. I can't keep it from them. Some support is always great. Yeah. Well, like I said, my friend was like, "Oh yeah, they say nice stuff about you behind your back." Taylor does say nice stuff to me. He won't say it publicly, but he's no,
I'm not gonna break it down publicly.
yeah,
It's
don't
just
let
not
him
gonna.
fool you though.
And
Taylor's a
yeah,
big sweetheart.
Mike knew what he was doing.
Do you two have thoughts on people from different regions of the United States? What do you think of Minnesotans and Floridians? I mean, there's good and bad people in every state. I mean, you're gonna have like specific cultures or vibes in different spaces, but that's a little bit hard for me to answer. I don't really have thoughts on individual, or I have more thoughts on individuals from certain states than I do for collectively, like grouping it like that. Taylor is an ESTP, Chris. Like Jimmy said, Taylor loves the crap out of you, and we know it, Kat. That's 4DFI telling you that. He probably doesn't know it.
Yeah, and yeah, whatever. You guys can figure that shit out.
Everyone knows everyone in Florida is nuts. Well, I'm in Florida, and,
I mean, I don't know that I think everyone in Florida is nuts.
I mean, I'm EIE nuts, but I'm clinically sane.
Like rural Missouri, like where Phil's from, those people are nuts. Or Arkansas
Phil's from
people.
Tennessee.
Is he from Tennessee?
Yes, he's from him and Graf are
But
both from
see, okay,
Tennessee.
so Memphis is nuts. Nashville's not though.
Yeah. Jamie asked, "What job sounds the worst to you both? What would you never do?" A job is a job, Jamie. There's no shame in any job. If I needed to make money or take care of myself and, I didn't have a job, like, I would I think every job is useful, and it's all part of, like, the working cogs of society. So, I don't think that there's a job I would never do. Um, I guess I could frame it to, like, what would I most hate doing? And I'd have to think about that.
I'll never
Probably
oh, sorry.
sorry.
I thought you were
Oh,
thinking. I thought that was go ahead.
no, you go first. Yeah.
I would move into a refrigerator box in the alley before I'll ever wait tables again.
Really that bad?
I hate it. I don't
What
give a
would
fuck if you think your steak is medium, not medium rare, you know? Like, I can't schmooze and coddle people for that long. It's
I guess the worst job for me would be something, like, super repetitive and mundane. Like, just, like, picture me on, like, an assembly line, just doing oh my god, I would die. Can you imagine me?
yeah,
Just, like,
you'd be fine if
repetitive,
you
like
could talk to people.
oh god, but still, like, just doing anything, like, mundane and repetitive. Oh god. Um, to be honest with you, Jamie, throughout most of my life, I've been an entrepreneur. I've worked, like or, like, I've just been doing my own projects. I've worked at, like, retail and things like that also, but, I've always kinda, like, found my own ways to do things, so, yeah. I do assembly line work and talk to people. You described exactly what I do. Well, that would probably be my least favorite job. But like I said, a job is a job and
I mean, I've worked in machine shops and not technically an assembly line, but it's a lot the same thing where it's repetitive and, it's not too bad if you put, like, in your earbuds or
yeah, not too
whatever.
bad when you have high TE and SI.
Oh, well, I don't yeah, sucks to suck, but, um, yeah, it's kinda good. You can upload books onto your anything audiobooks and just learn all about Benjamin Franklin. He was a
Is that sounds
scallywag.
like a real story that happened.
Oh, yeah, it was. I read yeah.
Oh, you got approved for the job, so you do assembly line work. That can't be true, Cat. Fluffer seems degrading. Yeah, but nobody said I don't like being degraded.
She loves it. It's just that's her thing.
Now we're getting inappropriate.
Oh, yeah. Hey, whatever.
We're just kidding, guys. I guess it's fair. We made me feel awkward. We made you feel awkward with that
Yeah, but
question.
we you know what? But I didn't rake it around you around over the coals long enough.
Talk about typology and money. What do you mean?
As okay, neither one of us are great at saving money. Um,
That's
I
not true.
I absolutely doubt that you are great at saving money.
Okay. Well, all the bills are always paid. Now I'm not good at saving the extra money, but I've never, like, been late on a bill or anything.
Both of us are types that would rather make more money than save more money. Um,
Oh,
like
well, you know me. I don't care about money that much. You always yell at me for that.
yeah, I SLEs are better at making money too. More specific on that question.
Yeah, we need a more specific question there. I think of ENFJ as a career counselor. I'm an ISFP ESI, and I'm a janitor. I just listen to music or creepy or podcast or creepy pasta. I'm bad at saving money, and IFE make good advisors. Yeah, just whatever. How important is money per type? I mean, that's not really a type thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it certainly can be. Gammas love money. I'd say as an SLE, money
Stereotypically.
is a measure of my expansion. Does it if that makes sense? It's
Taylor
something
gets
else
mad at
to
me
conquer.
because I have all these gifts that I don't monetize, and he's constantly trying to get me to, like, monetize everything that I do. Everything I do.
Or anything you do. If I could just find
Anything.
one to get to settle into place regularly, we'd be good.
We're not gonna go into
I
the
like side
story.
hustles. I really like
Yes.
wheeling and
Taylor came
dealing.
up with this, like, scheme once where
It's
I
not
pick
a
out
scheme, it's a legitimate service.
okay, a legitimate service where I pick out porn monthly for people, and then it goes through him to some special app, and then I choose porn for them. Like, he had this whole business plan around it.
It's more intricate than that, but she's a disrespectful, uh my
You said
my
you're an
pimpin' hand ain't that strong.
you said you're an entrepreneur, Cat. What do you do? I do Enneagram consulting. Prior to this, I played poker. Um, Gamma Quadra. Well, do you think more about what you want to buy or what you want to invest in? What I want to buy.
Bye, for sure.
Definitely.
Um, yeah, bye.
What kind of porn count as that? I don't know. He had this whole, like, thing made up, and the whole idea was just, like, the person, like, fills out a survey, and then we get, like, an idea of their preferences, and then every single month, I, like, choose.
He's gonna re-explain it shittily, and but there's a customer market there. It's the same people that call sex lines, you know? It
Oh my god, N if Nate's still here, Nate for, like, months, okay, months, has been trying to get me to do erotic ASMR and sex toy reviews on YouTube, and I'm like, "I'm not doing that."
I
And
don't
then,
know
like,
what erotic is. Okay, go. Yeah.
yeah, everybody got on board with it. I guess you just, like, you, like, talk sexy into the mic and, like, record videos review and I was like, "I'm not doing that."
I think that you could do sex toy review videos. I think that's a fantastic idea.
I'm not doing that ever. You guys are disgusting.
Do you know what an Omibot is? We can
What
review
is?
that.
What is it?
Oh, it's a sex toy.
What is it called?
OHMIBOD. I think, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I know what it is.
So do
How
you
do
wanna
I
review
know?
it?
No, we're not doing that. See, he tries to get me in on all these see, now this chat has gotten weird. We've devolved from typology into
People need to know if it feels good.
see, and this is like some weird SX Dom beta shit where we
It's
just don't
not.
filter ourselves. It is.
Why does sex have to be weird? Why can't we be open and honest about our
Sex isn't
sexuality
weird, but
and
talking about it on a
what
typology live
what
stream is
shape, size, um, you know, texture of dildos are the best?
all right. Between moral and ethic, which do you think should be prioritized? I think morals are a facet of ethics, are they not?
I tend to think of morals as emotional emotionally based rules or guilt-based rules, obligation-based rules that aren't grounded in logic. I think that ethics tend to have a reason for them. At least that's how I understand them. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
I don't know the logical definition or whatever, so that's why I'm asking. Interesting how you guys make each other uncomfortable, but in different ways. I don't think we actually make each other uncomfortable. I think it's just maybe uncomfortable because it's out of context and people are watching, but, um, we're way weirder, behind the scenes, so it's not him making me uncomfortable.
It's the butt plug.
You have a butt plug, I don't.
It's not for me though.
Why are we talking see, we shouldn't be talking about any of this. We're just gonna keep outing each other, and it's gonna get bad. Logic is usually subservient to feelings. I think that depends on who you are.
I think that's always correct with all people. Even logical types are people who think they're smart. Ultimately, we do what makes us feel good.
Well, I think that logical types are better at rationalizing their feelings.
Oh my god, I
Not that
can
I'm not good at
rationalize
that too.
anything for myself. Oh yeah, I'm real good at it. That flexible TI,
Creative
ETP,
TI.
or yeah,
You can make logical sense out of anything you want.
I can.
Now I can't do that. So that's where you come in to help me.
What do you need justified?
Oh gosh, nothing right now. In the next crisis, I'll let you know. And then instead of telling me to suck it up and shut up, you can like make logical sense of it, and actually help me. No, we're not understanding. Okay, well, Can you reword it for us? Why does my eye itch? This chat has devolved into the
There
strangest realm. We went
there are
from, like,
there
Enneagram to socionics to politics, and now people are talking about tentacle
I don't
hentai.
know. I'm not very familiar with the tentacle fetish thing. I think it's got to do. I think it's somehow Japanese or anime. I'm not into anime nor anime porn nor tentacles, so I really can't comment on that. You're married to an ENTP, Eiley. They're tentacle people, aren't they?
No,
Yeah.
this one's not. You can use true premises and come up with a false conclusion. Sure, of course. Logic is just a process. It has nothing to do with being correct or not.
Yes, it does.
Well, within your premise, sure. Someone ask a question. Yeah, okay, it's 3:07. Let's go in, like, 3 minutes?
Oh
3:10?
yeah. Fuck, we've been on forever.
Yeah,
Okay, bye.
2.5 hours.
Like, subscribe, comment, and check out the stuff. After this video's up, I'm gonna edit it, and I mean not the video, but there's gonna be some stuff in the description box. There'll be links down there. Check out our stuff, support the channel, support Cat stuff, and
Support Taylor's stuff.
yep.
Are you there? Okay, you're on the webcam. You're actually there for me, but it's reversed, so yeah. Support Taylor. Support Flow State. Buy Flow State merchandise. Sure.
Patreon. Or yeah, buy the merchandise too. Actually, there are still all the shirts that are up now.
I want my custom shirt still. We
Okay,
gotta talk about that.
I'm gonna all the stuff that's up now. I actually meant to take down already. So if anybody wants any of that stuff, there's Danger Baron, Drama Slut. I'm gonna leave Drama Slut up. And then all the intuitive types have their own shirt. I didn't get around to making them for the sensor types.
Yeah.
But all that
Nice
stuff.
bias.
Well, I figured I'd make shit for the people most likely to buy the shit. And that's how
Fair.
that goes. 40 TE. So I love you too, Countess.
Thank you guys for watching, and it was really nice talking to everybody and meeting people in Taylor's community and on Taylor's channel, and come join us in Discord. We chat in there fairly frequently if you guys wanna ever hang out and talk with us. He'll put the Discord in the information below the video when he's done here.
Things that'll be in the box. Her Discord server, both of our Twitters, the Flow State Facebook group and page. If you're not in the Facebook group, you should join.
True Generations.
Yeah, sure. I'll link True Generations too. I'm just doing our stuff though. We're not branching out into all of our friends.
Well, that's where my stuff is hosted on, just so you know.
Oh, it is. Okay. That'll be there too. Flow State's got a TikTok. If anybody has TikTok, it's fun as fuck.
I still need to make a TikTok.
Make a TikTok.
Yes.
That'll be there. The Patreon, which is where I'm going to put the video about the type 8 denial and my ghetto ass neighborhood and all the shit we're getting shot at and stuff. the merchandise. And if there's anything else, I can't remember it right now. Bye.
Bye, guys.